This episode of the Grappler Union podcast is brought to you by BJJ Tees. Go to bjjtees.com, enter the promo code Grappler Union, and save 10% off all your jiu-jitsu apparel. Go to bjjtees.com today.
This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Strychnine Jiu-Jitsu, makers of vintage-inspired tees, hoodies, and rash guards. Go to strychnine.co, that's STRYCH, the number 9.co, and use the promo code UNION at checkout to receive 20% off your online order. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Grappler Union Podcast. Anthony Zito here alongside special guest host Javier Palomo. On this episode, we have Luiz Claudio in studio. Luis is a 4th degree black belt under Master Rickson Gracie, and he is the owner and head instructor at LCCT BJJ. Enjoy.
I hate the 6 minutes. What happens in that 6 minutes?
You taught me, using any technique that works, never to limit myself to one style. Keep an open mind.
We're not here to take part, we're here to take over.
In order to become more peaceful, in order for you to become better and strategize your life.
All right, we're live. Luis, finally in studio.
Yeah, well, how long we've been planning this? You guys met him for the first time at XFO Grappling.
Yeah.
We had Donnie, Keelik, Yusuf all competed in that one.
Right.
So yeah,
That was awesome.
it's been a while now.
First, I would like to say thank you so much for the invitation. I know it's been quite a couple, but you guys know how busy with the new gym and the new gym from Thiago in Barrington. So there's so many things happening. And, plus the seminars, plus the fighters. It is so many things. And I wanted to be here way before, but it was just,
it's okay.
Everything happens in the right time.
That's right.
Exactly.
Everything happens at the right time. Exactly.
Anyway, I would like to say thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here, honor to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And you brought your wife with you as well.
Of course. Yeah, she hangs out with me a lot.
Now she helps with the gym, running the gyms and everything like that?
Yeah, she's the manager. She's actually the boss.
The boss.
Yeah, this is true. I've witnessed this many times.
Makes sense.
Yeah, let's go back to this thing right here.
He's good as jiu-jitsu.
Yes, he's good.
That's
Just good.
That's it.
I'm the black belt there. As long as she knows that, that's what it is.
What does she always call you when you're in trouble?
Prieto.
Oh man, that's God. So, are you a snowboarder too? Because I know you like thinking those snowboards on the wall.
Just to tell everybody here, I walk in this guy's place, and this place is like heaven. He got is that a Harley?
Yeah.
So he's got this awesome Harley, right? This place is awesome. And then I look to one side, and there's skateboards and snowboards, and then the one wheel.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to be kidding me, man. This place is... And then I walk around, there's Hickson's picture, Helio picture, Hoyt's picture. It's like, this place is awesome.
Like to come work here? Yeah.
Thank you. I need more money.
There you go. I just got back from Colorado yesterday.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was snowboarding out there with some friends, and
boy,
Colorado is so beautiful.
It's always amazing. We have affiliations there with Zingano BJJ.
Okay.
Matt Sims, one of our best friends there, and I have a bunch of other friends. Casey, so many. Right, I'll be telling everybody. So I love Colorado. Every time I go there, I have such a good time. But the thing is, every time I go there, I want to go snowboarding, but I arrive there on a Friday. Right, and I work from Monday morning to nighttime, and then Saturday seminar, and then Sunday privates all day, and then I leave. And I always see the mountain; it's so nice.
Off in the distance.
And I hear all the guys like, "Luis, come on, let's go!" And I was like, "I can't. I gotta be working." Yeah. One of the guys from Denver now, Casey Byers, is a black belt. One of our affiliated guy too, and. We started doing this website. Actually, the story of the website is quite as long, but I'll try to make it small. So we tried the website. I was trying. I didn't want to do like a website just on videos, right? I believe, like, especially for the beginners, right? There's so much, right? The foundation of how everything works in my head, right? And because the way Hickson makes us think, the way he taught you, you know, it's never like, okay, we need to know this amount of position. No, right? It's always, we always hear that basics, right? But then you think, you know, basics is just position basic. But then it goes, when we created a program, called BATT, B-A-T-T, right? And the first thing and the most important thing, especially when some of the UFC fighters that I have a chance to work, a pleasure to work with, you know, the first thing is, well, show me how you do your breathing, right? And they do, you know, deep breath with the chest. I'm like, it is wrong. What? I've been breathing like that. Well, it is wrong. So you should be breathing towards your diaphragm, not towards the chest, right? So I can do a whole seminar on the breathing thing, right?
Okay.
It's amazing. And one of these days we'll have the chance to talk about it. But everything in jiu-jitsu counts, right? So the first thing and the most important thing is breathing. When you're desperate, you breathe wrong. When you breathe wrong, you got tired. When you got tired, you got nervous. When you got nervous and desperate, you got caught. Right? So the way you use breathing is to become water, right? A lot of the movements you do, you inhale and you hold your air. What happened? You stiff.
Right.
The guy hits a good position you and it's tight, and you hold your breath and you're afraid. You have a lot of fear. What happened? You're so stiff. It makes it so much easier. Now you breathe, you relax, boom, you out. Right? There's so many. And then I fill up my lungs. I have a big bump with the hip. So there's so many places to put it, right? Okay. So breathing was one thing, and then athleticism condition, which is the second part, which is comes out to body movements, right? A lot of people wants to do jiu-jitsu, but they can't do a rollover. They can do a rollover backwards. They can shrimp. So there's so much that we do into the gym, and as we were putting together the website, like I said, I didn't want to have just a place that you have a bunch of positions, because you have YouTube for that, right? So I wanted to do something different, right? I wanted to do something that, like, dude, position should be the last part. You should know how to breathe. You should know how to move your body, and then it comes technique, right? So BATT. So if you can't move, you can't fight. A lot of the positions is because you can do a rollover or a shoulder-to-shoulder roll. A lot of the injuries are based on, you know, you move wrong and you pop a rib, you hurt your neck, right? There's so many stuff. So I would say I think it's almost 30 years now of jiu-jitsu. My God, I'm so old. But I'm still good looking. Come on.
Right. You got that going for
I'm
it,
not
right?
fat.
Right.
I got a pretty hot wife. Anyway, the good thing is, avoids a lot of injury, you know. Like even though I train all the time, I'm a jiu-jitsu rat. I love to be on the mat. I love to roll with my guys. You know, it's a passion. It's love. And I know, like, a lot of the black belts, they don't like to roll, right? So a lot of the black belts, they got the black belts, they don't want to roll. I want to roll all the time.
I never want to be that black belt.
Neither do I, right? So then we come up with the breathing, with the body movement, and then 3 is the technique, right? So it comes up to, okay, just an example. If I like to do X guard, right, and I'm a master on X guard, that's pretty much what you're going to be hitting a lot towards your students. And your students, they're going to be the reflex of their coaches, right? So through all the years, I see everything. Like, I know so much. I can see. It's like you see the guys, you know, going to tournaments, gi, no gi, you know, UFC, you know, all the other shows. And there's so much out there, right? It's so much. But I always feel like I'm always going back to the basic, going like, why did you do this much going this way instead of just go for the goal? What is the goal? To catch. So instead of going around the world to make it look good to get a catch, why not just get the catch?
Right.
So my idea was like, okay, how can we develop a program that can be extremely basic, but it works? And then every time, you know, you hear Hickson say visible jiu-jitsu, a lot of people that don't know Hickson, never heard about Hickson, right? They have no idea. Like, they really don't have an idea how important those things are actually for their own game. I hear people like, oh, this guy. And it's like, my God, you have no idea. You know, if you think I know a little bit of jiu-jitsu, you have no idea. I don't know nothing compared to Hickson, you know. It's that much. And like, I'm not kissing ass, it's the truth. Hickson knows so much that I'm telling a story, and then we finish the website thing. So we're in Brazil. I'm teaching private in this very nice place that we used to teach privates for, like, the senator or the mayor of Rio, and I'm teaching privates for their kids, right? So we're there. There's a bunch of rich kids, and I'm doing a bunch of privates with them. So Hickson arrives because one of his best friend lives at that place. So he goes there to train with him. We're there. He comes with his gear, black belt. He goes like, "How are you? I'm gonna do some training with you guys." I'm like, "Oh gosh, now my student's gonna see me getting beat up," and it actually did happen, right? Of course. So after we talk a little bit, he goes, "Yeah, and this is I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe more." So he goes, "Yeah, I'm working more on this invisible jiu-jitsu, And I'm looking at him. I look at Thiago. Thiago's my brother. So I look at Thiago. I'm like. We're both like right away, right? Yeah, he's getting old. Right, you're young and you think you know everything, right? Right. And then as soon as your master says something, you look at him like, yeah, he's getting old. That's it. So anyway, so he actually did a couple of the stuff. And trust me, even though 20 years ago, right, I started teaching with Hickson like 1991, like way in the back, and I started jiu-jitsu in 87, maybe 85, maybe before, but I never really count, right? But I got my first yellow belt at 1987, December 1st. I have it was not even the IBJJ, it was IBJJ, you had CBJJ, and then you have the Rio Federation, which was under Hobson. Yeah. So anyway, he's like, yeah. And then, everything that he's doing is just like, oh my God. And you're already a black belt and you think, dude, I can feel it, but I can see, right? And everything is just so magical and so effortless. It's like, dude, what is he? I can feel it, but let me try to adjust. And nothing that I try works. That's what's, all right, I'm going to get you on the right arm bar. It's like, nonstop. My God. Can you change the arm, please? I can't move it anymore. So when I heard that, me and Chuck was like, yeah, he's getting old. But dude, the amount of thing, I think that the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu is like we always think we know something when somebody that is extremely ahead, right, goes to us and just show like we're just a white belt,
right?
And that's the humble part. I always tell my students like, man, I'm in search of that actually, the invisible jiu-jitsu. And probably when I say now, they look at me and goes like, yeah, he's getting old. Yeah. But anyway, so that was a good start. So he beat me up, right? He beat me up, of course. And he did a very interesting, he put both hands behind his back, cross body, right? And I'm trying to move. And he goes, come on, go ahead and move. And I'm doing this. I am moving. He goes, no, you're not. I'm like, look at my eyes. My eyes are moving. Right? He goes, stop playing, let's go. And I'm like, dude, I can't move. Right? That's how heavy he was, right? He was just like, man, I can put a lot of pressure on people. He knows.
He can.
Right? For like a small guy, right? It's all science, right?
Okay.
Pretty much. There's not, it's invisible, but if I show and break it out, you see like there's no way you can be that heavy. And I can make anybody heavy as long as you know what you're going to do with the body, right? But, knowing for that for the first time, it's like, my Lord, like, I'm going to tap him. Oh, my God. And he has no hands, I
wonder if they've ever come up with, like, some kind of a system. They have a system for, like, the hardest punch or
like
the
measure the pressure.
Like, is there a system for, like, feeling that amount of pressure? Like, someone, like, how much do you
look
weigh?
into that?
I'm like probably 150 some. But normally I was 35 before I came to America.
It's like how weightlifters can, like, based on their body mass, they can lift a certain amount of weight that tells you how strong they are.
We'll get one of those CPR dummies.
right?
We'll put a pressure plate in there.
We should do it.
I would love to know, so for someone like Hickson, like the downforce he puts on it, it's got to be because I've gotten tapped by side control on from black belts. Like I'm just like I got to tap out. This guy. Like,
I will show you today. I'll show you today. It's very simple. But, and this is the thing though, everything that he shows, you feel it, but you don't understand until he shows you, you go like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. This has been here, it's been here all these years and we never look for it. I always tell my students, like, it's like the Matrix Jiu-Jitsu, but it's not easy. It takes time. Right. Like today, me and Javi, we got a bunch of brown belts together, black belt, and we all like...
On his day off.
On my day off. Yeah. So I we got together, we did a bunch of stuff together today. It was and I was showing them how to actually climb to the armbar without opening the legs, without actually putting the foot on the ground and putting the foot on the hip, which is wrong. Every time you disengage, guys bring a knee, guys pull their arm, especially, and we're small guys.
Right.
So as soon as you do those things, what happens? Big guys pop out, they just come out, they're partial. And this is also one of the things that he showed me. Just by holding your collar with one hand, I keep my left hand on my elbow on the ground, and I jump right in your hip. And when I do it, you're going to be like, there's no way that just happened. And I'm not even crossing your arm. It's just amazing. And a lot of the time he would catch me like literally no hands. And I'll be like, man, you're a white belt, you're a blue belt. I can understand that. You make mistakes. The guy's bigger than you, but you're a black belt. It's embarrassing, but it's amazing because, and then you can see that really works, and those things that I am amazed about it, So before we go to the jiu-jitsu part, I like the body physiology, the science, how the body works, how the breathing works, how the diaphragm works and everything else, how my body can move better, how can I flow more, how can I waste less energy, because there's always so much fight, there's so much, my head is bigger, my bicep is bigger, you're always going to meet somebody that gets more endurance and going to beat you up, and you're going to feel like, man, what I'm missing. Sometimes you fight, you win the first fight, but you put so much strength that when you go to the second, you lose. And then you start getting better, and then you go for the third, you go for the fourth, but then you never win the worlds, you never win the pen. Why? Because you're not there, you're not ready. Why? It's not because of lack of training, conditioning-wise, but it's lack of technique. Because the less strength you do, the better will be. So there's a lot. So back to the website. So it took me a couple of years until we find Casey and Jeff, and we're putting it's been a year because I had to redo a whole year of work in videos. And the thing about videos is you want to put something out there, but it's really hard, right? Because people cannot see what you're doing. You see the guy going, oh my God, it's so heavy. But they can't see, right? You can feel, but you can see. Right. So I've been putting a lot of time on this, me and Thiago. I want something to be extremely nice, that it could be like a library of jiu-jitsu. I really like, the truth is I don't have time. And I really believe what the Hickson does. So I don't look around for anything anymore because my computer is already overloaded, so so I don't need more exchanging position. I don't need more tricks. Right. I need more deep understanding of what jiu-jitsu is. Right.
Refinement.
Exactly, and that's what I try to go for all my higher belts. It's not how much more positions you have. It's just what can you do better. And back to the same day that I was with Hickson, I have one of my at the time he's a kid, now he's like 21, and actually we try to bring him down here. But anyway, so he was probably a yellow belt, right? But tough kid. He's from the favela. We have a social project for kids back in Brazil, and then we have a bunch of kids, and actually we have one black belt now. He's amazing, Leonardo. He's here with us, and I'm trying to bring out the black belts too. And so Hickson roll with him, right? And he's a little kid, he's all pumped. He's like 10, 12 years old, and he's been training with us for 6 years every day, right? Wow, yeah. Parents don't care, so they with us the whole day. Sure. So Hickson trains with him, and he goes, wow, I'm impressed with this kid. He's 12, yeah. How long has he been here? Oh, 6 years now. We got him, on the project when he was 6. And then he's every day. He comes to my house. He was living here, and then he went back to Brazil, but we tried to get him back, actually. He won the Worlds 3 times already in 3 months. Yeah, he just fought, I think, with the Miao brothers, and he lost for 2 points. So he wasn't even training for that competition because there was not enough black belts for him, but no excuse. Miao is, he's a beast. But I know if I put my hand on him in 6 months, I can have him winning again. But anyway, so we see all that stuff, and he goes back to me, he goes like, I'm going to tell you one thing. He rolls like a black belt. But the mistakes he has are the mistakes you have in your game. And I'm going to do it to you right now, and you're going to see it. And then I roll with him. Yeah, I look good. But he tapped many times. And the same mistakes that I was making, my student was making.
Wow.
Yes. And then from that day, it's crazy, right? And how can you pick that? How amazing that is, right?
Yes.
And it's like, man, I always say that he's not from this world. Hickson Gracie is not from this world. Helio Gracie might think he's his son, but I think he came from
aliens.
He's an alien. So I was like, so those things are what I go on mat. Javi knows every time I'm there, I'm screaming. You know, it's like I always feel like I'm a white belt. You know, and because of the invisible jiu-jitsu, you know. I don't want fancy things because all the fancy things that everybody tries with me, it never works.
He's got his fancy things. I've seen them.
No, I move well. It's different. I play around too. I like to play around.
Sure,
you know, Javi's good on this and that, and you know, I try to play their games because I also want to see. You know, like Leo now, you know, he got a bunch of the sweeps and that stuff. And I put myself on those things too. I you know, far away from that, I have a lot to learn. You know, and I think that's how every black belt or every blue belt or every purple belt that thinks like, well, I know everything. Bro, you know nothing. Like, you have a journey in your life right now to learn about jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu never stops. The day you think you know something, you stop learning. Yeah. You know, and you're not going to get better. So every day I walk on the mat, I'm like, man, I'm just like a white belt and I'm hungry and I love this. Of course, the body doesn't say that, right? But it's always like fantastic to be on the mat and exchange the energy. And I'm a guy that I am all about energy. You know, my energy is always up to the roof. I love what I do, the passion. You know, what I try to tell people is not, once again, you're not just going in there to do jiu-jitsu. You're going in there to change your life. Because some things that I say on the mat, it took me 30 years to understand. And it could be something about the diet. It could be something about life, you know. And like I said, jiu-jitsu is not, it's a lifestyle. And those things are the most amazing, you know. Right. So, and then just to finish about the website. So we're almost done with the website. So I still got to put a lot of work on that, me and Thiago. And I think it will be very nice. And I have it's not a dream because my wife is actually making it happen. So I really want to put a book together. I have the book already, pretty much like not ready written, but I want to do a book towards, you know, BATT. And of course, I don't want to call it Invisible Jiu-Jitsu because I don't want to, you know, upset Hicks and things like I'm using his idea. But we are already in the process. We have a guy that is actually finishing a book, and he asked me to be on it. And I wrote, you know, I gave him some tips. He's teaching me a lot. So eventually, once I can maybe have another black belt to help me, so I can put a little bit of time towards it. Right. Because I want people to, I really don't want to see, how can I say it so people can be upset with me. Not that I'm against, I think anything that comes to jiu-jitsu evolve, right? Sometimes I say, oh, this is old school jiu-jitsu. Yeah, bro, old school jiu-jitsu. But you just saw Roger Gracie finish Buchecha, one of the best of all time. You know what I'm saying? And seeing that, and Roger's not competing every day. Right. And he'll walk out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he had his camp, but he's not competing. You know, when you're not competing all the time, especially like Buchecha, Rodolfo, and all the, you know, Leandro Lo, all those, you know, amazing guys. You know, it's like, it's really hard for you to just walk in after a couple of years without fighting and walk in and just beat one of the top, you know, if not the top, right? Buchecha, he's a heavyweight that can move like a lightweight. Right. It's amazing, you know. Seeing Roger, and I watched the fight, and I even showed a couple of tips about what he was doing, how he was blocking, you know, his entrance, because Rodolfo got not Rodolfo, Buchecha has a really good single, you know, the way he pulls a single. So I was watching a lot of stuff, and I was like, okay, this, and that. But at the end of the day, he was able to choke one of the top guy. You know, so once again, I don't believe there's an old jiu-jitsu. I don't think there's a new jiu-jitsu. I think that's crap. Right. I just believe it's jiu-jitsu. It will evolve. But the only thing that I always tell my students is that there's a line, and that's the end, right? And as you go, there's many ways. Oh, I saw this, and then you go to the left, and you take it 1 year, 2 years, practicing whatever comes out, whatever looks good now. And then you realize that people are killing that, and now you go back to your line towards your goal, right? And then you go a little bit 2, 3 years, and you're doing your stuff, and then suddenly you go to the right, and it takes another year. So instead of taking a lot less time, you take a lot more time. But I think that's important too, because because then people, I mean, if I look back 20 years ago, I was always looking for the cool stuff. I was young and, man, I want to do this. This is so cool. I was never like a sweep guy, right? I never liked to sweep. My thing was I was obsessed, okay, how can I catch faster? What can I, because you always see Hickson catching everybody, right?
Right. Hickson by armbar.
It's like I seen, you name it, right? The best guys in the world. And I see him tapping them like, it's just unreal.
Right.
Like you see those guys training and you see those guys fighting, 6-time world champion, 5 times world champion, 4 times, Saulo, Hoyler, you name it. Andre Galvão, a lot of these kids that they were amazing at times and still, a bunch of them still fighting. And then you see suddenly, Fabio Gurgel, I love Fabio Gurgel.
Right.
It's one of the guys that's like, man, this guy's, he makes so many awesome black belts. And then seeing him like going to Fabio Gurgel, like, it is like, Jesus Christ, how can that be possible? Right? And you see him training in the gym. Okay, we have 100 people in the gym, and then he start going with the, with the lower belts, and then catches everybody 3 times, and then goes blue, purple, brown, and leave the black belts after 1 hour. Right? And then he start doing the same thing with the black belts. And I was always amazed to that. It's like, how, right? Like I got already a lot of badass right in my gym right now, and I'm thinking like, dude, if I really put all these brown belts and the black belts that I have and the purple belts and the blue belts, and I leave the black belts dead, I'm gonna have a trouble. I'm gonna have a lot of problems. Finish them 3 times.
Right. Damn.
That's not gonna happen.
It's incredible.
You know what I'm saying? Like exactly, that's the word. He's incredible, and that's how I live my jiu-jitsu. I try to learn every day so I can share and make my students and the people that I have the chance to touch, to talk, to change their lives. Because jiu-jitsu, it did change my life. The reason I started jiu-jitsu is because I got bullied all the time. Mm-hmm. I got beat up all the time. Can you believe that? I was small, talk a lot of crap. And small guys, it's like the little dogs. I was you loud. And I used to play soccer fairly well. And every time I did something well, they beat me up. And then I tried to complain, they beat me up again. So... And then I got tired and I started jiu-jitsu. So hopefully...
This was in Brazil?
Yeah, this was in Brazil. There's a lot of stories in Brazil.
And we will get to all of them eventually. But you didn't initially start under Hickson, right?
No, I started it, like I said, in my school, actually. I went to private school down in Rio. And on that school, the sport, you have like a sport program. Like you have to go, you got to do it. You got to do the swimming.
Like a gym class.
Yes. Right. So, but you have to do it. And then you had to do judo. So I had to pick a couple, but then I had to do. So I picked up judo. And my judo instructor, he used to do a lot of ground. So I did judo for a while. Right, I know I got a couple good throws, right, Javi? We have fun.
He's got some good throws.
We have fun. Me and Javi, we have a good time, right, Javi?
He's got 2 very, 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 very good throws that I'm like, damn it! I saw it coming too.
We have a good time. But this is the thing, though. I know Javi is good. He really likes to go stand up, and I like to put myself there because I learn. There's nothing wrong for you being an instructor learning from your student that is good on sambo or judo or the leg locks. I'm open to learn. If I don't like it, I'm going to go, Javi, I don't like it. A killick, I don't like this shit. Let's throw that away. So a lot of the times is I'm willing to learn. And I think that's, one of the best things that you have as a human being is to be humble.
Right.
And understanding that there's always somebody better than you. Yeah. And one of the most important things for the young guys right now. Yes, you're young now, but you will be old sometime. And the good thing is when you get older, you better have enough technique so you can still have fun.
Right.
Because if you rely your game on all the strength, by the time you become old, it's not going to be fun anymore. Right. So those things are very important too.
I'm sure you weren't talking to anyone in particular in the gym.
No, I'm not. No.
So then, at what point did you meet Hickson and start training underneath him?
I came to LA I think it was 90, 91. And the idea was to come here with my dad was here already and through his business, and I wanted to come and so I could be able to go and learn English, right? That was the first thing. I'm going to the States, and, I'm getting older too. I think I know everything. I'm like, you got to go to your dad. Like, you got to hang out with him for a little bit, see how good it is. So I come to America, I got a good time first, visited all the good stuff, and then he goes, all right, are you going back or you staying? I'm like, oh, I want to stay. Okay. You go to school. So full-time school, no time to do jiu-jitsu. It was full 3 times a day school. And I'm going crazy. I wanted to compete, and, and there's no gym and clothes that I could go. I couldn't drive. So then I found a friend, Arnobio. So this guy was a kind of like a bodybuilder that loves jiu-jitsu, right? Okay. So only on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, because during the whole week I couldn't leave school. It was 3 times a day. So we used to train on the carpet because there was no mats, and on his apartment complex, there was this, the gym area, and all right, let's roll. Right. And it was funny because Vitor Belfort and Carson, they used to live on that. Really? That complex. So it was fun that sometimes, we finish training, we all burned, the faces are burned, and I'm walking down to the pool, and then Victor, back in the days, he was so huge. I always talk to Carson a little bit, but it's always like, hey, how are you guys? Blah, blah, blah. But it was funny. Like sometimes they probably walking in and see us rolling, man, look at this crazy guy's carpet. Are you serious? So when people, they complain about hard mats, I'm like, come here, have you rolled in a carpet before? Right. No, never. I'm like, come in. Let's go next door. So I take them next door, like, now try to roll on the carpet. Oh, this is impossible. Yes, it is. Yes.
I too have rolled on carpet. Yeah, way back when I was seeing what Hickson Gracie was doing and just trying to figure it out on my own because I didn't know anyone at the time.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? You go back in the days and it's like, my God, there was nothing. There was nothing back in the days. Yeah, and then I went to. I was in this party one time, and then this guy's like, "Oh, Hickson's here." I'm like, "Oh my God."
So you obviously knew who he was and all that.
Oh, I knew. Yeah, I was already. I started over this guy that was closer to my house. He was under, I think, a Father Jiu-Jitsu, which was this guy that was like. So Helio, I think, was in the south, and this guy was in the north, and this guy was very close to me. But he's a red belt today, João Fernandes, and I started with him. I was a blue belt, but when I came to the U.S., I asked, I want to do beginners. I want to restart it again because I know I seen, like, I want to learn that. Like, it's not. There's a lot more. There's a lot of gaps in my game. I was making a lot of mistakes. I'm like, I got to do this. Right. So I saw Hicks in the party, and I'm like, it was funny because as I'm walking there, one of the black belts was there, and
what kind of party was this?
It was a guy. This guy, man. It was a nice party. It was nothing, It was
like black belts and Hickson's there.
Yeah, Hickson was there. It was this guy, this Brazilian guy that was very famous.
Oh, okay.
They call him Barachi. I think it was Barachi, and he was very famous because he was into the carnival stuff. Okay. And he threw this party. And one of my friends like, Luis, well, we're gonna go to this party. A bunch of jiu-jitsu guys. I'm like, oh, I'm in. Let's go. Yeah. So I got there, and Hicks was like all the way in the corner, all tough, right? And then I walked in and I tried to, to introduce myself with one of the black belts. He goes, "What's up, man?" The black belt. And I'm like, "Yeah, how you doing?" I'm all like, "Oh my God," and I'm all excited. The guy's like, totally like neck up, like, "What's up, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just started jiu-jitsu in Brazil, and I just moved, and I'm going to school. I would like to come to." Oh yeah, so he gave me a call with Luis Herendia, and then Hickson was there, and I talked to him he was like, hey, what's up? Like that. Yeah. What's up? You don't know them yet, so it's like they talk to you,
keep it at arm's length.
They're fine, but it's just like, hey, what's up? Shake your hand. Right. Yeah, casca grossa. I see you soon in the gym. That's it. So, and then that's how I started, and then literally I was going to school, and then my dad was like, "No, you're not going to train now until, you can.
Okay.
And then it took me a while, and I was training on the carpet for a long time.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was able to train. And as soon as I started training, it was over, and then life.
Hooked for life.
It was hooked for life.
So back then, how did a Hickson class go? Like, what was it like being like in that environment?
It was funny, right? It was funny because sometimes I go back. It was West LA, and the gym was like in the back, right? And it was all wood, like totally like those old karate or kung fu. It's the mats were on top of the wood floor. It's in the back, and you kind of go down, and then all the way in the back there's the gym, and then you walk in, and you have that old kind of smell, not bad smell, but it was like old, like literally. I felt like I was
smell.
like walking in a. Literally like a kung fu place, It's like, man, this place is awesome, right? And my God, it was always funny because you had people calling in the whole day. Is Hickson there? Is Hickson going to be there? Is he going to be there?
Really?
So when Hickson was going to be there,
this is in the 90s.
yes,
Wow.
dude, you walked in and there was no place, right? Everything is packed, and it was war. I always tell people like, man, if I do the training that we used to do back in the day, so I used to do back in Brazil, I would be run out of business. Like it was just amazing. The amount, like, and Hickson's there, and whatever belt you are, when they hooked you up to fight with somebody, it was like, I'm gonna choke you. I'm gonna take that arm. It was like, wow. It was nice. It was healthy, but. Bro, don't come to class if you're not like 100% ready. Like you don't want to look bad in front of Hickson. You always want to prove like, hey, I'm here. I'm ready. Right. I'm ready.
A lot of comp mode.
Oh
right?
my God! And everybody it was. I always say that it was one of the best times of my life, training wise, because. Man, we used to train so hard, and then after we're done, we'll sit down. Hickson was always extremely serious, like you didn't see him. You know how I play all the time. I'm always happy.
He wasn't like that, huh?
Oh, dude, let's go. And like no screaming, like training. You couldn't talk. He was like extremely respectful. In my gym, I don't let people talk out, like crazy. I don't know phones on the mat. We bow, all that stuff. Like we very, we follow. I follow everything. Anybody say anything, I follow him as much as I can.
Right.
I don't try to change anything. But definitely those times, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Did he bring his breathing techniques into the gym as well? Did he try to instill that in his students?
Yeah, I think like with the years he got better and better. Mm-hmm. He told actually in a seminar he did in my gym. I think he went 2 or 3 times now already in the gym, and you were not there.
No, I wasn't.
I know you took too long and then we sold out. Every time we got a Hickson seminar.
Can I be first on the list then? You just let me know what it is. I'm there.
I'll hook you up.
Thank you.
We'll put you in the first 100.
Yes.
First 100 at least. At least give me top 100.
Well, 'cause this is pretty much what I do. I text all the instructors, all the affiliations. I text all the affiliations, and I tell, hey, Hickson's going to come. Send me the list of all your students, right? Because, of course, I'm going to give the preference of the people that are affiliated at LCCT, right? And he doesn't want to be showing anyway if you're not with the family, I would say. And then a few guys that we know, we end up inviting them. And then the people that already affiliated from him in other places, they fly in. Yeah. But I have a good amount of people that are affiliated with us. So when you see, I pretty much sold out just with the people that we have.
Right.
Everybody wants to come, so it's hard to have other people. But
yeah, we packed the house. I mean, it was.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
That was before we
you
opened
have
up
it
the
at your
second
gym?
At my gym.
So you don't rent out a facility?
No.
Have you thought about doing that ever?
I thought about it, but the gym is pretty big.
Okay.
And now, now we have 10,000 square feet facility.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's a lot bigger. So we can have a lot of people there.
Nice. Yeah, we've got 2 rooms now.
Yeah.
So like 2 full size.
And mat space wise, you've got
huge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Only one side is 6,000 square feet. The other one is like 4,000. Wow. Almost all mats. So, and the other one, it's huge. I have a wrestling from Harper College now there. So we can have a lot of people. And then on the side for the functional, I can, I can put a lot of stuff in.
Yeah, we got strength and conditioning equipment on the other side. We've got the boxing ring on the other side.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of mat space. And next time. And
I'm actually, my next move is I'm gonna get rid of my boxing ring, and I'm gonna put more into the fitness side, and I'm gonna have more mats. So we can have a lot of people in the next one. He called me last week, so I gotta go visit him very shortly, like probably the next week or two. And we'll talk about it. Let's see. We got some projects coming.
Yeah.
We're working on. I'm going to Brazil. We're gonna do a camp in Brazil in August, and it's almost sold out. So we do camps in Rio, and we take a bunch of our students to train all the time, and then we go surf, we go to the mountains, we take them to the favelas where they can see, the difference.
Right.
That jiu-jitsu is. It doesn't matter what color you are, how rich or poor. At the end of the day, we all share, one of the biggest love in this earth.
Right.
And it doesn't matter exactly, anything about that than the love that we have. So I take people there so they can see. A lot of people are very ungrateful what they have. Is they always complain about their lives. I'm like, come on, let me show you guys what poverty is. So I take them to the projects that we have, and it's amazing to see the difference and the things, and people bring gifts for the kids, and so it's pretty nice. Cool, And so we're gonna do a camp, and the project we're doing is we're gonna do a documentary. So hopefully it's already in the process. So we'll work it out. So we'll see how it goes. Nice. We've been actually trying to do it for last year, but we wanted to make sure that we'll do something that is really nice with a good quality, so people can see the difference. I don't want to talk much about it, but it's a good idea. I think it will be cool.
Well, let me know if you need any gis. I always have some extra gis.
Okay.
Okay.
And they're already children's size, right?
And they're all already children's size. I'm little. They're all these zeros.
I have, I always have a bunch of stuff, like, for the UFC, like Yair Rodriguez, one time he gave me 10, 15 pairs of shoes and so much clothes because he's sponsored by, Reebok and Monster. And I make this big thing. So when I go to Brazil, we go to the project and just going to give a bunch of this stuff.
That's nice.
Just don't tell him. I kept one pair. Yeah, but we always go and we always got a bunch of free stuff. So I got a lot of stuff. So we're going to donate for the kids there.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So UFC, how did you first get involved in the UFC and all that, training the fighters? And
man, that goes back to when I arrived here, and then I was teaching in downtown at Monkey Bar, and first Thiago was in Grafton, Wisconsin, and I got this really good business proposal that was supposed to do a lot of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to jump that part because it's a business thing, but the idea was to come, do a lot of stuff, franchise, go big, and few things didn't go the way I wanted, so we kind of stopped. But Thiago was teaching Grafton, and then he got invited. Duke Rufus, back in the days, they got affiliated with us for the jiu-jitsu part. So Thiago was teaching that, I don't remember, maybe 2 times a week. And then we started meeting a bunch of the fighters. What's his name? Pattis came a couple of times to train with us, and his brother used to come with him. And through one of Thiago's fights, Thiago was fighting MMA too. He was training over there. So one of his fights, I met Ben Rothwell.
Okay.
Right? And then Duke told me, Duke Rufus is the one that gave me the opportunity to start working with some of the fighters. And I always said, every time I see, Duke, I'm like, bro, thank you so much. You really put me in there. He's a cool dude, And so when I went to Vegas the last time, he was actually on the plane. We talked it was probably one of the best. I hate planes, but it was probably one of the best flights ever. The plane was bumpy, but I was more worried about the talking, so I kind of passed out. Yeah, just towards the landing was really bad. I was like, Duke, I think just let's keep hands. So, and then I met Ben, and Ben was like, I would like to train with you guys, Duke, talk a lot about it, and what do you think? I'm like, yeah, the only problem is I'm all the way in Delta. I'll go see you guys. I really need a jiu-jitsu coach. And, okay. So.
Ben's a big guy.
Yeah, he's pretty big. Pretty big, pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so first class, you know, he comes all the way here, and then as soon as he walks in, you know, in the gym, all the guys look at me and goes like, bro, how you gonna deal with this?
Yeah, how you gonna deal with that guy?
You know?
Yeah, look how big that guy is.
Yeah, he's 6. Yeah,
He's
you
so
see
big.
that? Oh, bro, Javi looks like a little. Me and Javi looks like little
Children.
know,
We look like
We
children.
all look like that.
yeah, which it is.
Right.
So we start our friendship. You know, Ben is one of my biggest friends now, and we're like family. I mean, you know what happened. You know, we start training with him. The first time, I did only 2 privates to him, and then he fought Mark Hunt. And pretty much like we started, I had 2 privates, and then I went to Denver. And then it was a great fight. He lost on the decision. I had only 2 privates with him, and it felt so bad because he hurt his back, and he ended the fight like on top of him. The first round, he took him down, and because I say, we always say don't overhook. We underhook and elbow in, and then you can, and he overhook and he stood up, you know, and then the fight was over right there on the first round. Yeah. But you know, it's hard to break the bad habits. Sure. It takes a long time.
Right.
So and then after this, we really started working more, and you know, and then after that fight, I was able to do all the camps, and we won 4 fights in a row. So we got him from, I don't remember what place it was, right, you know, to all the way to down to number 3 or number 2 in the world. So it was amazing, you know, and it's still amazing because Ben, I really like about Ben is the amount of gratitude, the respect he gives to me and Thiago, how much he listens to us. It's like if I say jump, he don't say anything. He goes, okay, right, where do you want me to jump? How do you want me to jump? Right. You know, it's really rough to train with a couple of the fighters because some they listen, some they don't. Okay. You know, and the ones that they don't, then eventually you don't want to work with them. You know, but I'm pretty lucky. Pretty much all the guys that I train, you know, they're more like into the martial arts, so it's not hard. But you have most of the times the guys are like beginners. Okay. You know how it is. Yeah. But Ben had enough experience, and it's being really nice, you know, and hopefully he'll be back now in March. So we're working on it. So hopefully in March he's back. We're right there. Yeah. You know, he injured himself. He was supposed to fight Verdun, and then, you know, he had to do a knee surgery, and now for the whole year, you know, he's been back. But he's back on place. He's training. You know, he can't jump now. Okay. But it's another story. It's a long story, but it's being it's amazing. Yeah. It was last year we got the submission of the year with the go-go choke. Yeah. From the UFC, and I think
Joe Rogan.
Junkie.
Yeah, right. Joe Rogan. And
yeah.
Other people have talked about that one.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
We got who was it? It was Barnett and Mitrione, right?
Yeah. It was nice because when he caught Mitrione, everybody, Mitrione doesn't have any ground. Right. Yeah, but he's tough, bro. He's a tough guy. But then when he caught Barnett, it was like, what the heck is going on? What is this? And it was huge, right? And then it was really nice too that, you know, it's like, yes, the go-go comes from this guy here, Hickson Gracie black belt, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So it was pretty cool, you know. It kind of... It showed Thiago did an amazing job with him when Thiago was here. He was the one that pushing him. He was so ripped, you know, he looked good. So the whole team, you know, it's not just Luiz, it's me, Thiago, James Buck that just signed with the UFC too. And, you know, he got to the point that the family grew, we all got better, you know, and once again, very humble, and it got him to, you know, to the top fighter. So hopefully before he retires eventually, when that time comes, I hope we can have that title shot because I really believe him. I know standing up wise, man, he is tough. His knee is not bad. He's not fighting injured. Right. For the last 4 fights, we won 4 fights in a row. And then he was supposed to fight Miocic, and on the week of Ireland, Miocic canceled, say he injured his back. Right. And then on the same week that we were there in Ireland, the UFC came out and say that he signed up to fight with, what is the Russian guy that used to train here in Chicago?
Arlovsky.
Yeah. And Ben was so pissed because Ben challenged Arlovsky right there on that week, and Arlovsky, no, I whatever the UFC wants, and then we are there, and the same week, it comes out that he was gonna fight. It was, it is what it is.
It's a fight game.
It's a fight game.
Did you guys see the fight yesterday with Stipe? Yeah,
Thiago did. I didn't get a chance to go.
They did. I was hanging out with this pretty good-looking women. Yeah, we work too much, so as soon as we have free time, we're together, the family, hang out with the boys. So.
But you heard the results, Stipe.
Yeah, I saw like a little video of it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, he weathered that storm in the first round, and then
I think they were pushing a lot towards, not Miocic.
They were. I think he was pissed.
Yeah,
because at the end, he wouldn't let Dana put the belt on him.
Yeah,
I noticed that.
Yeah, because they were selling more the other guy than actually the champion. It looked like they also want him to be the champion,
right?
And not Stipe, and that felt pretty bad.
Yeah,
it's almost like, well, you look good, you should be here. They tried that with a few other guys and they work out as much. What's that blonde kid that looks like Drago?
Oh yeah, that young kid.
Yeah, and he's
Sage you talking about?
Yeah, Sage. I thought like they were trying to push him.
Yeah,
but it's what sells. It's business, so it's got to be good for everybody.
Right. But it's still shitty that you've got someone as talented as Stipe. Yeah, he doesn't look as mean or as menacing as Ngannou, but and you don't want to put him on. It's weird.
I felt like the build up to the fight was all about like, this guy's a monster, and he's knocked all these guys out, all this stuff,
and it could do it for ticket sales, but still it's got to feel shitty on the end for Stipe. It's like, yeah, I know you're trying to sell the fight, but can we go a different route with it?
Yeah.
So
the go-go choke.
Oh, she's talking about the go-go choke. Yes. So I think Ben. She keeps me on track, I'm telling you. So the go-go choke.
She's managing you.
She's managing me. Well, the go-go choke was something I made it many years ago. It was funny that we were in Ireland, and then as soon as we walk in the elevator, and Hardy is there, right?
Dan Hardy.
Yeah. And he looks, because they did a whole show on the go-go choke and how it works. I don't know, like they broke and they showed the computer.
They did a breakdown.
They did a breakdown on the go-go. As soon as me and Ben walk in the elevator, he looks at me and goes like, did I fucked up? And I look at him, and we both start laughing. He goes, oh shit, I did. Because it's like, I didn't have it, right? I'm like, nah, I'm nice.
You got it close.
I'm very nice, right? I'm a nice guy. And I'm like, yeah, you got very close. And Ben goes like, you got nothing, dude. Ben is black and white, dude.
That's awesome.
I love Ben. I can be definitely the politician. He is never going to run for any politician for sure. He'll tell you right there. Nah, you didn't get it.
For the record, though, I mean, like, above and beyond the go-go choke being, like, just a savage choke. And in fact, it's what's on my shirt today.
That looks good. That looks good.
But, like, Ben's also got hands that are bigger than my head. And I cannot imagine what it feels like to be stuck in his go-go.
I really tell you this. Ben, heavyweights, you see some heavyweights, they got a little punch and they don't like that. Mm-hmm. The punches are, when he knocked down Overeem, he kicked him a couple times, and then when he hit him once, I saw he kind of like shaking. Mm-hmm. And then I look at him and I, punch him. So, and then, the second, the third, and he knocked him out, but we heard a guy like say, hey, he doesn't like, I mean, who would like to get punched by a heavyweight?
Right.
Dude, when I heard that thing, I'm right in the cage, and I heard the first kick, boom, and I'm like, Ben, do not let him hit your knee, dude. And I know his knee's bad. It was bad, not anymore, but it was. And later on he goes like, hey, I got it. I was I'm like, I don't care if you got it. Don't just let him hit your knee.
Right.
Fuck. so as soon as I heard the first, dude, if the sound is like two big trucks hitting each other,
I mean, dude, in a way, it kind of is.
And I told Ben, I said, Ben, why you're not the UFC champion yet? Dude, you're amazing. And the best thing you have is people can punch that son of a gun, and he's not going down.
Yeah.
You can punch I'm like, do you know how many people can do that in a heavyweight? I'm like, all we need is give me time. We put the time, we got there. So hopefully we'll still get, he's fired up. So hopefully we got, he still have that in the mind. He wants the title. So until you have that, you can keep fighting. Once that is gone, retire. But I see him going more and more.
Yeah, still got the fire.
I know if he touches anybody's chin, they're going down. Right. And what happens is as soon as they touch it, they're going to shoot for a double. They shoot for a double, they're going to find a different guy. Right. So, and we brought a guy from Brazil. We call him Nelson Machado. He's one of the geeks for the body physiology. So he's the one that put him in shape. So he's able to fight 5 rounds, which is a kind of a hard thing for heavyweight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Unless they have like a wrestling background, that they used to do that training so much. So before, that was probably in the beginning his biggest problem. He didn't have the endurance, but now he can fight. And I think you get older and you get more experience too. Mm-hmm. You kind of like relax more. Yourself you see the young kids, and they got tired in the first round. We see that a lot, But
now Yair, you still training Yair?
Yeah, well, I did the first camp with BJ Penn. It was amazing camp. I did the first camp. We didn't focus a lot on the jiu-jitsu because it was a lot. The camp was a lot. Like I would say, it was a lot more focused on the wrestling part, which I really think that was a tough fight for him. It doesn't match with his game. But if he would win, it would be like, oh yeah, we got it. It was the right time. And then if he doesn't win, it's like, well, he could wait to get like a big fish, like Frank and stuff like that. So I always say, like, there's so many amazing fighters that never walk in an octagon before that they say whatever they want, and they say, oh, you should do this. How many fights you fight MMA? Oh, I never fought. And you have so many coaches that never made anybody go nowhere. Mm-hmm. Then the amateur shows we have around here in Chicago, in the Midwest, right? Mm-hmm. And they say, oh yeah, the coaches is. People always want to talk bad stuff about other people. So he's and he's so young. Right. I mean, watch him fighting, it's amazing, So I think, like everybody that is young, he still has a lot of time to get better, and his ground game is not bad at all. Like you saw him rolling that, right. He's got leg locks, like he rolls really well,
I actually really like the way he uses leg locks in MMA. Yeah. A lot of it's like, he doesn't really care if he catches the guy. He's going to use that as a method of getting a stand-up and get it back to, his primary game is the kicking.
Yeah. Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the difference, too, is a lot of the things, there's a big difference between the jiu-jitsu gi and the jiu-jitsu for MMA. You have to adjust a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. You have to. When Ben was going to fight Stipe, I was actually in L.A. I went to L.A. to see Hickson. Dennis was going to fight, I think, his first CBI. Dennis down, bro, and then I call Hickson, like, what are you doing? I go, oh, I just got out of the beach. You want to go eat? He goes, come to my house, pick me up, and then we go eat. Okay. So I went to his house. We ended up staying there for 3 hours before we go eat, actually. So he goes, come on in the house. And then I walk in, there's a room, mats. Right. He goes, come on. What? And he likes Ben a lot. Of course, Ben talks, really good about him and represents jiu-jitsu. He loves that. So is Juliana. Every time he talks to Juliana Pena before her fights, and so is with Ben. Some of my fight. Yair, he talked to Yair before. So he put him in the room and goes, okay, what's the game? Well, Stipe is a good wrestler. Ben, the whole idea is not trying to, not to let a wrestler take you down. Right. We got this, we got that. Okay, good. But what about if he does take you down? What about he's inside of your guard? We know it's a problem when a wrestler gets that. They're really good. It's hard to sweep, ground and pound. And I showed some few things, and he goes, okay, impressive, very good, which he showed me before. I did my homework. And then he showed, okay, what about if I lift my butt up, my legs are straight up now, and then I'm driving forward, I hold your shoulder, what do? Right. And then nothing that I was showing. And now he's slapping my face, slapping me on the ribs, and his hands are not friendly. They're heavy, right? And it's like, Jesus Christ, how this hand can be so heavy? So he beat me up. I'm like, okay. So I tried to do the same with him, and I couldn't approach. And it was so amazing. And if you see Kron fight, he does that all the time. This is like You just got you got to feel it. And then he shows me this stuff. It's like, man, why I never thought about that. The problem with a lot of the black belts, one, there's a lot of black belts in UFC that they're not really black belts, right? Like, one thing is for example, Ben is a purple belt now, but he got tested for it. His test was like 4 or 6 hours. He was going to do now the brown belt test, but he couldn't do it. But he's going to do it this year. I could give him the black belt when he beat Burnett, right? Burnett never been tapped before. Right. Come on, you can be a black. It would promote me, right? It would look good, but I wouldn't be not fair with all my students.
Right.
First they're gonna look at me and go like, man, this guy, he's a joke, right? And I always tell Ben, I says, if you don't put your gi, if you don't put the time, if you do not show me and pass the test, the program, I'm not going to give it to you. Mm-hmm. And I had other guys offer him the black belt before.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. And he's like, he's not going to let that happen. So.
And I mean, I was there when Juliana took her belt test.
Yeah.
The fighters take it very seriously.
Yeah. I mean, as it should.
Yeah.
So you really believe that, putting the gi on is very important for no gi.
Let's explain MMA. That. Yeah, let's explain that. We have a lot of guys that don't like to put the gi, right? Why? They don't want to get tapped, right? They don't want to get tapped. That's the first thing, for sure. Well, I can do this. I hate the gi. The guy holds me. Yes. I always tell, if you have a boxer, the guy has 2 hands. But if you're able to put 8 more hands, now the guy has 10 hands. And then the punch is coming from everywhere, blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. Then when you take the 8 hands and you leave him one with 2 hands, what's going to happen? So much easier.
Sure.
Man, I was fighting with a guy with 10 hands. Now he's got only 2, 10 arms, right? So 2 arms now. It's a piece of cake. So that's what I feel the difference between jiu-jitsu. You will adjust. Because a lot of the stuff the guy holds you by the gi, he pulls, he chokes, he uses everything. Mm-hmm. And you gotta evolve. You gotta make your technique effective. And if you don't, it will never work right. And I always tell that to my students. And of course, some guys, they don't like gi. Ricardo Lamas, he came a couple times, and we've been. I know him for like 4 or 5 years now. And he's awesome on gi, and of course, he's better on no gi.
He's a wrestler, right?
Oh my God, yeah, his wrestling is sick. But his jiu-jitsu, bro. There's few things like the body triangle, a lot of the stuff, the hand triangle, Darce choke, the guillotine, don't get him put that thing on you. You're tapping, So I believe, yes. The thing with a lot of the MMA guys is they feel comfortable when they up on top. They feel good when the games are working. And if you don't put yourself in bad positions, you're never going to feel that. And it's the worst thing in the world is when you're fighting, because when you fight, you're just having fun. You're getting punched, you're getting elbow, or you're getting knee, and the guy's punching your face. The guys want to kill you pretty much, and you're there trying to survive. So I feel if you have that during your camp, of course, Luiz, I got 12 weeks for my fight. I'm not gonna have the guy doing gi. You're gonna do no gi. You're ready for a fight. Now, when you're off season, put your gi on.
Right.
I really believe it will help. I think it's an important thing. But fighters, man, it's hard sometimes. Some of them, they have a hard head. Yeah. Some of them they listen. But I think it's important. Anything that you will bring to your game to make you better, I think that would. And I would say, the harder it is, the better it will be, because eventually your technique will be on point.
Right.
So, but I'm not sure if I know everything, right? I don't know everything, so I'm still learning. So I just think like if I put you through hell when you walk in that cage, you will feel like, hey, there's nothing in this world that guy is gonna put me in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's gonna be.
And I feel like a lot of the guys too, they feel like I train what I feel better. I choose my training. Can't do that. If you're going to fight, you gotta look for the guys that you never train with them. Mm-hmm. Oh, that guy. Yeah, that's the guy. Oh, but he's brutal. He makes a lot of strength. That's the guy. We always look for the guy that is like, oh, he's got a smooth training, this. But, yeah, okay, I got it. You hurt, you injure, you have this, you have that. Fine. You're going to fight, gi, no gi, MMA. go for the ones that you don't like to train, the hardest one, because those are the ones that are going to put you close as possible to the real fight. You know, and I try to do that a lot.
Not only that, I mean, for my own training, you know, what I do, you know, at our gym, I train at Andre Mineco's. So we've got usually like the little guys are on the left side of the gym, and then the big guys are on the right side. You know, so it's usually broken up. So open mat time Saturdays, I jump over to the big guys. I'm like, I have to just feel that pressure,
of course,
feel that different vibe, you know, and see how my jiu-jitsu can compare to the bigger guys. And then it helps them, because then they realize I'm little and they can't do what they normally can do with the bigger guys. So we kind of help each other out. And I'll spend, you know, I do 2 hour open mats. I'll spend like an hour over there just getting, you know,
in my
crushed.
gym, in our gym,
nice.
we don't separate. We everybody trains with everybody.
Yeah.
And
but you know how some people fall in that pattern, like, oh, I only want to train with this size. The guys are my size, and they don't really want to.
We don't give them the choice. Luis assigns people sometimes.
Oh, do you really? That's nice.
What happened?
I said we don't always give the guys a choice because you assign people. You know, you'll tell people you have to roll with him.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah. I don't give. Nice. I always make as much as horrible as possible so they gotta understand. I fought, I don't remember, 2003 or 4 or 5 back in the days. And then I stayed, 8 years without competing. Kind of fell through. There's so many more important things. And, you know, I wanted to build the association. I wanted to build the gym. And there's so many stuff going on. And I didn't feel like if there was nothing there for me, why put it all the time? And my family was more important. Pretty much what it was. I can't focus on fighting to get a medal at the end of the day if my life is not established or my business not established, right? So, and then I think it was 3 years ago. It's going to be 4 years now. I went to the World's Masters again. Right? I'm like, because you know my both kids, Hanzo and Hickson, they're competing now, you know, and there's like, Daddy, you know, I never saw, you know, one of your tapes. And I have like VHS tapes back in the days.
Gotta get those converted up.
They see like a box of medals, right? Yeah. And they're like, oh, that's so cool. But then, you know, I don't even know where my VHS tapes are. So I'm like, you know what? This year I'm going to compete. And it was a while ago, so we didn't have, you know, the next gym. This next gym is just so much work. I didn't have so many, you know, UFC fighters that we were training. The association, there, you know, now there's so much, and there's the website, and you know,
a lot more going on.
Oh my God, yeah. Right. If it wouldn't be for there's good-looking women here, I don't know how my life would be. Yeah, she definitely she took to the next level. So it was super hard, you know, because I was getting home like 11:30 at night, you know, and then you're working all day and trying, you know, it's like, okay, I can't turn down a private. I got to do 3, 4, 5 privates a day. And then I have to teach all the classes, you know, and then at the end of the day, you still got to go to Lifetime and work out for another 2 hours. Right. And the next day, the same. It's like, dude, I don't have that age anymore. People's like, you should compete. I'm like, dude, I might not look 45, but I am. And the body is like 90. You don't understand that. How does wake up in my body, you know, and so I fought. I won my division. I finished everybody, and then I'm walking. I see all these huge guys, and I'm like, "Sign me up for heavyweight." And then Thiago's like, "What the heck you doing? You're signing up for heavyweight. You're gonna hurt yourself." I'm like, you know what? I want to fight. I want to have fun. Yeah. It was stupid because I was already. Well, I messed up on my weight, right? The scale we took with us, I don't know how many pounds were off, or you know that happens sometimes. IBJJ, you got with one scale, next day you got in another one. It's like I was so different. So I had my weight, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go. So I found out a gym close to the hotel, and I ran because I thought I was, you know, up high. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm like 3 pounds off of Jesus Christ, and I'm already 131, right?
This was for gi, right?
Yeah, 135, right? So anyway, I'm like, man, I might be like 3 pounds off. That's a lot to lose on the day off. Yeah. And I'm barely eating, right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to get beat by my own self. So I did it. And I had my own gi from my gym. And I bought one gi, like a very ultralight gi, you know, and it was a horrible gi. I'm not going to say the branch, you know, I don't want to say bad anything, but I think it was horrible. And I'm like, I hope I don't have to fight with this gi. So when I walked it, you know, when I went to do the weigh-ins, I was like almost 3 pounds clear with my gi. Which was heavier. And I'm like, they just called me, right? I'm like, I can't believe I can't eat anything. So I'm putting like honey and one of those carbs, cobble up, whatever. And I'm drinking. And I'm like, hopefully it takes like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. No, it doesn't.
They walk you right out.
Dude, I go fight, and this guy's super tough, and it was a good fight. I'm upside down, armbar him with the top of my head on the ground. The arm is like left leg over the shoulder. The arm is, and I'm thinking, this guy is double joint. I can't believe it. And I'm squeezing, and I'm thinking, I hear Thiago and one of our black belts screaming in Portuguese, vai quebrar, which is, it's going to break it. Right? And I'm on the top of the head, and you can see that on Facebook, our Facebook. And then I'm squeezing. And then I heard like a shot going, and then I feel, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I broke his arm. I'm thinking, and he tapped. And I'm like, thank you, God. And then I stood up, and I'm looking, my God, I want to look good, right? I don't want to look beat because the other guys are watching us, and we don't know which one we're gonna fight. Right. So I'm like, oh my God! And as soon as I walk out, I'm like, take me to the back. What? Dude, I was cramping from bottom to top so bad, and I thought I was gonna collapse or have something. And I'm like, the back of my legs, calves, my feet, everything's like. And I'm like, I can't fight anymore. So it was funny. I was on the ground, and I had probably 6 guys squeezing me and throwing water at me. And then I'm like, I don't think I can fight. I can't stand up, and it's cramping. And Thiago's just pushing me and goes like, you're going to fight. You're going to win. You're going to fight. And I'm like, fuck. Okay, I'm going to fight. So thank God he pushes me that. Thiago always pushed me a lot during, my competition life.
Yeah, signs him up for things without letting him know.
Oh, really?
That too.
Did he really?
Yeah, like I have a fever. He signs me up to fight. I'm like, are you serious? No, you're fighting. I'm like, son of a gun.
What are brothers for?
Yeah,
is he younger or older?
He's younger.
Younger?
Yeah. I look better, though. I hope he's listening to this.
Of course he is.
Yes.
Make sure of it.
Yeah, right. So, and then second fight... it was awesome. I had a good fight. And then the third fight was good. And I got a really good guy. He was good on foot locks. He almost actually caught in he tried to go for he finished everybody on foot locks. And he tried something and it didn't work. And he went for the arm. He almost got me, and I was able to get out. And I finished him. When I choked him, I let it go. And then, when you let it go, the guy kind of passed out. And then they called the doc, but he was fine. But it was nice. And then I went to fight heavyweight, right? The open division.
Sure.
So Xande and Xande Ribeiro, Salo was fighting on the other match. So Xande and Rodrigo Pagani and Thiago, a bunch of the Brazilian guys were all together. And they're all laughing, right? It's like, oh, we came. And there's a couple big guys, all waiting there. And then there was maybe 3 mediums, like me and 2 more other guys, right? And I'm looking at them, and they're laughing, pointing at me, like, oh, you're going to get that, there's this huge black guy. And there's this other guy that was like 340. And they're all laughing. They're like, oh, you're going to get this one. I'm like, man, I swear, if they call like that 340, I'm just going to, like, you know what? Oh, I just pull a muscle right back, and then I walk away. So... they call the guy, and they call the guy, and they call the guy, and nothing, right? And I'm like, yes. First one, I'm out, right?
Right.
And I'm looking to this other guy that lost to one of the guys that I beat in my division. I'm like, yes, you next. I'm just thinking it might be the next. And because I thought, the guys would pick up, but it's actually not. It's a computer.
Right.
Right? So they say they announce the guy. They go like, well... like pretty much saying like if last call,
right?
And then suddenly, man, everything gets dark. This gorilla guys coming, and then they start Xande and Pagani and Rodrigo. They start pointing. That's the guy. And I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, dude, and he's getting bigger and bigger as he comes towards me. I'm like, fuck, it's not him. And he's got closer and closer and closer. And he goes, "Oh, are you this guy?" And he just shakes his head, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" And I hear in the back, they're all laughing. And I'm looking back, I'm like, I can't believe. And at this point, I'm, you know when you cramp so much for a fight, and then you're done, and you relax, and then you kind of move, and you cramp, right?
Yeah.
And this is happening with me as I'm talking to them. I'm stretching my arm. So I got to the side of the guy. I look at him, and he's 6'5", 265, right? So I look to the side like this. He's huge guy, huge, in shape, like nobody fat. And I look at him, I'm like, I'm trying to break the ice. I'm like, "Hey, bro, today's Saturday. Monday I have to teach. Like, please, I have a family. Like, can we do this like in a nice way? Like, if you got a good position, please don't hurt me.
Right, exactly.
Tap me, but don't hurt me."
Right.
But I was trying like kind of break the ice to feel the guy.
Yeah.
Dude, he was such a jerk. He just looked to the side and down.
Oh,
because
no
I was so
shit.
low. Right? He looks to the side and low, and he goes, like totally like he ignored me like a jerk. And then, man, I was like, okay, today I might not win this, but for you, I am not going to lose. Now it's about pride and honor.
Right.
He was a jerk.
Yeah.
And we walk in, and the fight is there too. It's funny. So I'm fighting the whole
The
time.
fight's online? You
It's
can
on
see it?
Facebook. Yeah,
Is
you can
it?
see it. Yeah, on my Facebook. So it's funny. You hear Thiago going, in Portuguese, of course, "Get him! Get him!" And I look at Thiago and I'm like, "I am trying." And it was funny. Like, I have him in an X choke. Dude, my X chokes are good. Don't let me close the X choke. I'm going to tap you. They're good. Like, I'm not cocky, but I'm telling you, there are a few things that I do and I do well.
Right.
Don't let me catch you in the go-go, you're going to tap. Don't let me catch you in the next choke, you're going to tap. I got him so nice and deep, and he was trying to pass, and I trapped the leg, and I hit it, and I brought him to me, and I hear, and I'm thinking, yes, you're going to pass out in front of everybody. And I'm squeezing, I feel strong, and suddenly he just grabbed my both wrists, and he goes, "Wah!" And my arms came out like this. And then I stood up and I start walking, running around, and I'm doing this. And Thiago, "Get him, he's tired." And I look at Thiago like, it's like, dude, I want to beat him.
Right.
And as they were saying, they're all laughing.
Right.
They're all laughing. So it looked like a comedy show. So I was able to beat the guy. It was a good fight for him, probably. But I was able to beat him. So I did really well. And I went up, I think, same final. I think I went to with Giva, which is a Givanildo. He was like a Bellator. They call him the arm collector. He's a big dude. I don't have that fight there. But it was an amazing fight because this guy was always like a legend, and I fought with him. As soon we're I'm running, like literally, I was running, right? I'm trying to, by the time I'm dying there. And I was running around and trying to beat the time, and and he's so strong. They're so bigger than me. And then I was able to get him in a really good choke. I almost got him, but he pulls. He I don't think it would be that unfair, but he tried to put my, and I felt like he got my finger, so he got out. Then he put me in his guard, and I'm thinking, damn, collector's gonna get you, And he's so strong, dude. Every time he holds me, I feel like, oh my God, like hold that a little bit lighter. You're gonna break my bones. So I was able to actually open his guard, and it was a great fight. Still today, man, I'm still mad at that. I could fight with him again for free. But he beat me, I think, on points or one advantage or whatever it was. But it was a really good fight. I really liked it. I enjoyed.
Right.
The thing about fighting heavyweight is like you don't have that pressure.
Yes.
If they beat me, yes, they're heavyweight. Right. A lot of people feel that, and I definitely feel that. On your weight, it's like, you should beat everybody. And that's hard because it puts so much pressure. So you don't roll as you should, Right. And with the heavyweight, it's like, I'm having fun. And it's like, don't let them crossbody you.
Right.
don't let them pass your guard, right? And they're smart. Of course, they want to be on top,
right?
You know, but it was fun. It was fun. So maybe we'll see. We got so much stuff going on. You know, the guys always pushing me to fight again, but if I lose, it's not the problem of losing. It's the problem of failing. You know, because I'm so competitive to myself. And like I said, it's the preparation is 3 months to put the time, the money, you know. And I don't want to train for an hour. I want to stop everything, and I'm going to train for 8 hours. You remember how it was, right, honey? How hard it was when I was training for the Worlds.
Jesus Christ,
it's crazy. Huh?
I couldn't be by him. I'm like, okay, I'll take care of you, but stay away. You're just like so mean. I'm like, okay.
You sound so good. Just saying. Sorry. So cute. Anyway, we're almost 20 years together. So
nice.
18, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So go ahead, guys. So that was the fun part about it. So it was pretty cool to fight there.
So you thinking about competing again anytime soon?
I don't know. I got so many big projects going on right now. But
your master's what, 4?
I don't know. Maybe a master 15.
You're 40. How old are you?
Don't forget about the numbers, man. Forget about the numbers. Come on.
I think it's just, isn't it 3? What's?
I'm Masters 3,
and that's 41.
That's 1974 to 79.
Did you compete?
So,
okay,
I think something like that, right?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So we're close in age. I know that. Yeah.
Tiago competes.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's more interested in being an active competitor right now.
Yeah. Well, he was coaching you at Masters.
That's Worlds, yeah.
Master Worlds. I remember he's sitting there coaching. I'm right behind him. I'm just yelling. He's looking at me like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm like, I'm friends with because I'm yelling like trying to cheer Harvey on, and he's looking. He's like, why is this guy yelling?
Friendly.
It was good though.
Intense.
Yeah.
It's challenging. I always fight in the tournaments with the students. I know I'm bad, but you know, it's if they lose, fine. You lost. You made a mistake. Let's go back home and we'll fix it. Now, when you have some guy that's not prepared to do what they're supposed to do, that's why I don't like to ref, because sometimes you do make bad calls, and I don't want to mess up because I know how much a person trains.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you don't see it, it's like, man, it looks so bad. But the problem is sometimes I see guys that they do bad and they don't even care about it. It's like, oh, I know what I'm doing. No, bro, you don't know what you're doing. You just made a huge mistake. You know, of course, IBJJF, the guys are a lot better. But a lot of the times too, I feel like some of the tournaments, man, it's almost like they push the fighter to play by the rules instead of going for the catch. You know, all my fights, I finish. You know, I went for the last time I finished all my fights. You know, it's to kill or die. And I always tell the students the same. I don't care if you're gonna lose. I don't really care, because by the time you become a black belt, you need to be at that point. You know, at that level. Because if you always play by, I just gotta beat the guy by advantage. You holding down so much.
Right.
You're never really gonna get better. And when you really find a higher level black belt, oh my God, dude, you're in trouble. Like I saw one time this black belt fighting with Andragov. I don't know what happened, but I think he was mad to the guy. Man, he was just toying with the guy, playing around. You've probably seen this before on
I
Facebook.
saw the video.
You know, he's jumping around, and that looks embarrassing.
It does, yeah.
That looks embarrassing.
If I remember, I thought there's a backstory with that, where that guy's like not a legitimate black belt or something like that.
Right?
Yeah.
He just signed up for the tournament?
Yeah, and Galval found out about it, I think, and
embarrassed him.
Yeah, just wrecked shop
because that looked really embarrassing. Yeah, he was like jumping and just going back and forth on his back and spinning on his back. Yeah.
So what I always tell the students is this: is like, look, don't worry about it now. You know, it's like, go for the kill. Try always to look for the finishes as you train. You know, if it's too easy, put one arm on your belt. You know, if it's easy, extremely easy, just do defenses. You know, if you're a higher belt, you know, you're purple belt, you train with a white belt. Why? What do you gain by beating the guy up?
Right.
Let the guy train his catches and let him go deep on the positions and try to work that out. You know, or do one arm or put your, you know, there's so many ways. It's funny, sometimes you see guys that become purple belts or brown belts and they think like, oh, I know everything. Dude, we don't know anything. It takes so much long. It's like, oh, this gym is no good for me anymore. I got too good. It's think about it. Guys like, do you think Roger had the back in the days when he was leaving London, do you think he had, when he was fighting Jacaré, do you think he really had really a lot of black belts to train with him? He did not. Right. He was training with his students. You know, it's funny, one of these guys, they asked him, so Roger, why are you not coming to Brazil and training, you know, at the Carlinhos gym in Rio, you know? And he was like, well, you know, if I go there, I mean, the guys are amazing, but there's going to be so much rough, hard training. I rather, you know, I will work towards my cardio and all this stuff, but I'm going to focus on my technique. And I focus on my technique, I can train here with my students. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, you know? Sometimes you train too hard and you overtrain. That happens a lot. It did happen with me many times. It happened with Thiago a lot because Thiago, you know, he always wants to go more, and then he overtrains. But I've seen that happen before because we always think more is better, and it's not really the case, you know. But like I said, man, you learn the experience. It brings you to, you know, to the next level of seeing things. You know, it's just like, hey, it's not that I know more than you. It's just I have more time on the business, and I can tell you, you know, that I seen this works better than this. Some people follow, some people won't. You know, there's nothing you can think about it. I mean, do about it. You know, some guys can listen, some guys can't.
Right.
No, that's why some black belts are at that level and some are at other levels.
That is the biggest truth. I've seen a lot of black belts. I do a lot of seminars, and I always do my seminars. And once again, guys, I'm not against, you know, berimbolo, 50, whatever, all this stuff. I didn't like the 50-50 because what happened with a lot of the 50-50, a lot of the times, it was one days we're at the Worlds, and I'm sitting with Hickson, Hoyler, Fabio Gugel, a bunch of guys, right? A bunch of the Megaton, we're all sitting down. And at the time, there was a couple guys fighting, and they were like, look at that thing. Look. And dude, they were so pissed. Look, is that the way you used to fight back in your days? Oh, hell no. It was so funny, right? It's like, look at that thing. There's no finishing. Look at this. It's boring. Let's go eat. I can't even watch this. You had two black belts for 8 minutes, literally.
50-50?
50-50 each other. And there was no finishing. Right. And it loses. I haven't paid for like a fight for a long time. Because I would definitely pay back in the days. You know, you see Tereré, Marcelo Garcia. Right now, $50, $60, I'm paying. Yeah. You know, there's so many. I mean, you name it. Margarida, you know. My God, there's so many, you know, Leozinho, Vieira, you know, Jesus Christ. There's so many of them. They're so good. They're so awesome. Right. And then you see a lot of the fights, it's like it's not fun, you know. So towards that, I don't like it. You know, I feel like jiu-jitsu be towards always the catch. Mm-hmm. Like I love when Chrome was competing, I like it. You know, you see a black belt going there and next choke and choke the guy from, you know, like it doesn't make sense. You know, it's like when you see, you know, Roger fighting, when you see Marcelo Garcia fighting, it was like, my God, you know, this guy beating up a giant, right. You know, and that's the beauty about it. You know, that's, I think, how it should be. But
do you think they'll put together like a Legends, like jiu-jitsu, where they bring Marcelo back and all these guys?
Well, I think it would be nice. We all would win with that. But what I hope it happens towards jiu-jitsu is that people realizes more that, because think about it, the fancy stuff or the fun stuff or whatever you want to call, as it happened since back in the days. Back in the days, you have the La Riva guard, you have the X guard, you have the, I mean, my God, the Spider guard. You know, you had so many. I can't even remember all of them. But once again, all of those positions, they were developed by some rooster or 135 guy, right? Pretty much. That looks good. And then people start doing that. And yes, it does work for some people, but it don't work for everybody, you know? So I feel like I hope that jiu-jitsu doesn't die, you know? The Hickson Gracie jiu-jitsu, you know, like when you see Jacare fighting back in the days, it was fun. I want to pay to see that, you know? Like I say, Marcelo, Kron Gracie, you have some of the fighters that, you know, Roger, you know, and you do still have some of them too, you know. I'm not saying that there's no, you know, amazing black belts out there. There's a lot of amazing black belts, but I see like there's a lot of tournaments that, like you said, the black belts are not at that level, you know, and then it doesn't look good, you know. I hope it's, like I said, it's hard because as the years pass by, there's so much stuff coming in, you know, into jiu-jitsu. So, and I feel like a lot of the basic concepts, it's lost. Like I was going to say, I do seminars, and sometimes in the seminar, I ask a white belt, not a beginner white belt, but a blue belt, show me how you do berimbolo. And man, they know more than I do. And then I ask a black belt, show me how you take my back. Show me how you do an X stroke. Show me how you do an armbar. They can't. They do it, but they can't finish the position. And every time I do it, it's always the same response. It's the same mistakes that pretty much a lot of people do. And we talked that about many times, and you see a lot of black belts that come there that it's just not it's wrong, but it's harder to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Hickson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is the best in the world. I believe it is. But I can make other people believe that, right? But from my experience, I see a lot of things that they really don't match, you know? And like I said, by the time you become a black belt, the basic concepts of how to mount, because Hickson did all that with me. Show me how you take the back. And then I try to take the back, and I can't take his back. And all he did is he just lift the leg. I feel there's something wrong, but I can't move my hip, right? And you're like, and then he goes, close your eyes. Now see this. Oh, I can feel it, you know? Show me how you do an X stroke. Show me how you do an armbar. So everything is so much precise and perfect, you know, and effortless. And it hurts. You know, the approach of getting towards the position is amazing, that by the time he gets there, you already tapped 5 times.
Right.
You know, and vice versa. When somebody's attacking you, a lot of the sweeps, a lot of the, you know, the positions that like mount position. I was doing this mount position escape that it freaks me out, right? It's like the way it's done, you can't understand until somebody does with you. And I like to kind of like, I have other people that come sometimes to the gym, they're friendly. You know, my friends from some other place that they come, or some of the guys that came from Brazil, they're my good friends, but even though there's some other place, you know, we roll and we kind of exchange things, and it's always like, dude, what is this? What is this? I never seen this before. So it's good to see that you are doing something, and like I said, it's good to believe that he does it right, and I'm just passing around. Right. I really don't want Hickson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu to die. You know, I really want my students to understand that, hey, Helio Gracie, Hickson Gracie, and then you have Thiago and Luiz right here. You know what I'm saying? So there's like, it's not passed like by 10, 20 people before he reaches to you. Right. You know, so I hope and like I said, the program and the belt testing, that we had people testing, preparing for 3 months, right? And
so what is that? How's that all come down? Like, do you tell people, okay, or do they volunteer themselves to like, hey, I want to do the belt test?
No, they will have the time, right? I'm the one that's gonna say when they're ready. Okay. So we do, for white belts, we do a stripe every 3 months. I know some gyms, they do 6 months, you got a belt. I don't like that. I don't like to follow some of the IBJJF time. Right? So I kind of like, I always tell people, if you come to my gym thinking you're going to get a belt every 3 months, every 6 months, this is not the place. Right. Like we got a lot of kids. And the first thing I tell the parents, like, look, he's not going to be a black belt by age of 10. Right. Okay. I do the same with the kids. I stripe them every 3 months. I know some of the gyms, they do 3 months, they do a belt test. And I get it. It's all business and stuff, but I want them to be good.
Right.
I don't want them, and I don't want to sandbag anybody, but I want to make sure that when they get a belt, they're going to be good. Why not?
Right.
And I want my kids. That's what I want for my kids. And if I want for my kids, I want for my students too. I want my, Hanzo, he's competing. He won Naga, the last one. So is Hickson. And they're getting better. Now they're at the point that they start fighting advance. And he's got the first Naga belt, and he's all pumped. Nice. He's lovely. He wants... One wants to be a doctor, the other one wants to be a fighter. But
with names like that, I mean, what do you expect them?
Yeah, they both do. Hickson does the jiu-jitsu. He does the kickboxing. He's amazing with the kicks, and he does capoeira too. And they do the wrestling. And Hanzo doesn't do the capoeira, but he does the jiu-jitsu all day. He does the wrestling and the kickboxing. Yeah. And he is amazing to stand up. So, and he tells the story. He likes it, to spar and stuff. So, but one is 11, one is 9. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So much things. So, just to answer the belt thing.
Yeah.
So the belt is, we will tell the students when they're ready. As the time comes by, right? When they're ready, I'm going to say, and this is the thing, everything that I work in class, it's based on a program, right? So one example, if the guy likes a lot of arm drag, right? Marcelo, for example. I'm not saying that he does that, but I'm just giving an example so people can understand. So whatever the guy's name it is, and whatever he does, so this guy likes a lot of sweeps, right? So because he likes so much sweep, he's always kind of going to pull towards the side that what he likes the most. Mm-hmm. He might not do mountscapes as much, but he's going to do a lot of this sweep. Right. So I don't like that. What I like it is you need to have a foundation, right? Program that, yes, once you learn this, I can put anything fancy on top of that. But the foundation, how to mount, how to establish, how not to lose the back, how to get out of the back, how to get out of positions before they happen. So there's a lot of stuff that we work, and sometimes we work the same position like for a whole week. I work the same concept for an entire week. And for the blue belts, we do a certain amount of positions so they can pass the test. And then we do the attacks and the defenses. So I pretty much, it's like, we have this table and the chair, it has 4 legs, right? If you take one leg, the chair is not good. Right. And that's how I feel jiu-jitsu should be. The table is good, it's strong, it has 4 legs, but if it's weak, it's going to break it. So I make sure this table is going to be really, really strong. It's like if you built a castle on top of a sand from the beach, it's going to collapse as you put more weight. Right. But if you do it concrete and solid, so I really believe whatever belt you are, especially for the beginners, you must go to a gym that puts the basic concept ahead of anything. Right. You need to have a beginner's class. A lot of people are afraid to do that jiu-jitsu. You need to kind of separate and make sure they understand, because before they go to advanced class, they know how to fall, they know how to roll over, they know how to do this and do that, they know how to apply something that they're not going to hurt their neck. So a lot of the stuff that I see Hickson doing, pushing towards the self-defense, self-defense, people are like, oh man, this is whatever, this is what. We saw Hickson doing a demonstration with a black belt in one of the videos. I'm not going to say from where the guy is or whatever, but pretty much everybody that is listening knows. It looks really bad. Like the guy didn't know anything. And the guy's a black belt from a well-known gym. Now, it's not the guy's fault. Right. Do you know what I'm saying? It's whoever is the association or the gym. Sometimes it doesn't get to the black belts. Right. A lot of the guys that come to us to be affiliated, a lot of them, they come from a bigger gym with a bigger name than our name. But the thing is how is it? What is the problem? Well, the guy comes here, he does a seminar, but I never do anything with him. I pay the monthly fee, but I never seen the guy. He comes here and he gets his money, he's gone. Right. His pocket's full, guy's happy, your student is happy, but at the end of the day, the instructor is not happy.
Plus, he doesn't know anything.
Exactly. And he doesn't have the time because he's not in Cali or he's not in this. He's in a small town.
Right.
We just opened a gym. One of our affiliations opened a gym in Tennessee. This guy was under a very well-known guy. He was actually a student of this black belt. So they came here. One was a brown, one was a purple, right? And for them was a nightmare. So they're like, how can I learn this? I need to learn. So short story, 3 years later, 4 years now, 4 years, right? 4 years now, doing the program, learning what, because a lot of the times you walk in the gym, you do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday. By Friday, you have 10 different things and you don't know none of them, right?
Right.
And or you do know them, but they work maybe with this guy, they're not precise. They're not effective. Remember that when you play jiu-jitsu, it's not just lifting weights. Oh, I need to have you put more. Oh, okay. No, it's the entire time you try to apply something and the guy say, you're not going to do it. And at the same time, he's saying, no, you're not going to do it. He's trying to choke you.
Right.
He's trying to armbar you,
right.
So it's really hard. So if you don't have the time, if you don't understand things, you're never going to be able to apply anything. I always say, if you want to catch people, you have to create a reaction. You can't force anything. You have to create a reaction. A submission is created by a reaction. Why? A reaction means you defended something. When you defend something, what happened? You're already late. The guy's ahead. You're on the guy's timing.
Right.
I guarantee you that there's many times that you're fighting or training with somebody and you go, man, it feels like this guy's in my head. He knows wherever I go. I hear that all the time. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is I make you react. I always tell my students when I show something, when you're trying to apply something, okay, I always say, look, I'm the guy with the big sword behind the door. So I'm going to give you 5 different ways to escape. And I'm behind the 5 doors. Which door are you going to choose? I don't know. You do, but I don't. Okay, I'm going to say door number 1. But you defended door number 5. Look how much space we have between 1 and 5. I can catch you. Now, I give you only one reaction. You're going to come out on number 1, and I'm right there. When you come out, I got it. And that's how I feel Hickson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu it was developed on. Because he says, I'm going to catch you on the right arm. And he does it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you hide in that goddamn arm and he still get it. Right? And you don't understand that. Right? And it's like, man, this is not normal. Yes, it is normal as long as you understand that if you don't set it up, if you don't create a reaction, there's no way to finish. So I feel like there's a lot of lack of teaching. But once again, sometimes the guy's doing the best as he knows. For example, I met guys before. They're like, man, it's so nice to meet you. You do see that and that. And the guys are learning through YouTube videos. It's really hard. But, hey, when you don't have anything, what you going to do? And you love this thing called jiu-jitsu, right? Like, I want to learn. How many stories we have like that? So I see that a lot of the times people... they come from other gyms. They're higher belts. I've seen very bad things before, but I see some tough guys too that didn't have that amount of technique, right? But they had a big heart, and they were, they're just tough guys. And but like I said, at the end of the day, if you are a black belt and you own a gym and you have a program or you have association, as black belts, I think it's our duty to make sure that whoever's your student, it's not just paying and you making money. They should walk out of there that, hey, you know what? If I walk out on the street and somebody try to, to do something, I'm able to defend myself. If a kid is being bullied in school, he's not going to be fighting other kids, but he understands like, hey, at the time you cross the line and you punch me or you touch me, this is what's going to happen with you. My both kids, they got bullied like 2 years ago. And I always told them, if I ever find out that you bully somebody, you're going to be in trouble. Now, if somebody bullies you and you're going to warn them, hey, you can talk whatever you want, but you don't touch me. If you touch me, I'm going to defend myself. And when you say that, people around you, they are hearing you. Okay? Okay. And then, one happened with Hickson, one happened with Hanzo, and they both took the guy down, the kid down, and they didn't do anything bad, but they just say, hey, you want to keep getting this? Smash it on the ground. And they held their hands, and of course, the bully always feels bad, and what do? The bully became their best friends. Yeah. So it's part of our surviving life, right? It's amazing how human beings are. Yeah. It don't matter how nice you are; it just matters how tough you are, right?
Sometimes.
So teaching the reaction, like to get people to react, is that part of your like system?
Yes, I like I said, I believe
that's I've heard of this, and I think I even do it without thinking that I'm doing it. It just happens reactively.
We'll have a chance to show you just a few details.
Yeah.
That you're gonna be like, oh my God, and there, like you said, there are a lot of the times you do things that you did create a reaction, but it was just you just did it.
Right, exactly.
But you're not being taught that, hey, if I do this, my God, that's going to be so easy. I do this, the guy put that, tap. Right. My God, you're so good. No, it's not being good. I was well taught by somebody that knew that the program works. And when that happens, it makes a lot of sense. Like when somebody is able to break down the things, it's like, oh man. One, for you to teach like that, you have to love what you do, right? Because, dude, the amount of time I put in my gym, it's insane. One of the biggest problems I have with my gorgeous wife is that it's not a problem because she's always hanging out with me, but she's always like, I want to spend more time with you. Your class you finished at 8:30 and 10:30 we're still here.
That was before.
That's a good impression of you.
I'm not like that anymore. I'm like, wait, I got to do more of the thing. It's 11 p.m. He's like, no, we got to go. I'm like, we got to stay here.
Well, now she's doing the business.
Sure,
so she's in the front in the office and working. So she's like, it's fine.
That by the way was apparently the black belt move.
Yeah.
I'm not like that anymore.
True.
It was before. It was hard.
Yeah.
He was just putting 100% of himself in the gym. Coming back home 11 p.m. I was in the house all day. It was hard. Now that I'm work with him, I know what it is. And I'm never like, let's go. No, I'm there doing everything. Javier hang out with us to 11 p.m. every single day.
Yeah,
we actually talk, laugh,
and work.
Man. And if I see him hanging out, not talking, not doing his job, I'm like, Prieto, go to work.
You like that, Prieto? Yeah.
Prieto is when I'm at me. I'm like, go to work.
So yeah, I thought I was free from the house, and now she's in the business.
No, people want him. People want him.
Now, but like I said, I think it's once it actually, like I said, it really, it's amazing. It's almost like sometimes I do things like, my God, did the guy let me do this? Or it's like it can't be possible. Like, this works so well, right. But when you don't force anything, and like I said, it's nothing towards what you do, it's everything towards what you feel. Yeah. And I use that chair concept a lot, right? How to get a chair, out of place or out of balance if it has 4 legs, and how there's so much stuff that like I said, that's why one of the biggest thing about the website is, okay, and the book, how I just don't want to be another book that just talks about something about jiu-jitsu. Everybody's like, I know, and then maybe a beginner will buy it, but I would really want people to, I don't want to hide things from people, but also, if you're not in my team, I don't want to give you, what Hickson showed me his home room, against wrestlers, that it works pretty well for me. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you're part of the family, I'll do that. Yes, I'm not going to hide nothing, and I don't hide nothing from my students. I want them to be better than me. I always tell them, dude, I didn't have that chance. I trained with a legend. Hickson was not there every day for us. He was sometime, but then he became a big star, and then he was, he was training.
Of course, yeah.
And a lot of the training that happened for him was in the morning, and in the morning sometimes I was working, so I only could be there at night. So sometimes he was not at night. And it was like, oh my God, I can't believe I haven't seen him for 2 weeks, Right. God damn it. And the black belts were awesome, don't take me wrong, but you want Hickson, And that was tough. Seeing him not very often was very tough, but I was able, to, thank God, to be able to become, really, really good friend and be able to hang out with him, to go to his house and to go surf with him.
That was the real key, wasn't it? The surfing.
Yeah, it took me a while though for him to invite me. Like sometimes, in the beginning you hear like feel the older guys there. They're like, "Oh yeah, we went to Hickson's house. We did this," and I'm looking aside. I'm like, man, he never invite me. Right. I'm like, man, I didn't want to go like, hey, can I come by?
Right.
No,
you don't want to do that.
So one day out of the blue, he goes, hey, because he hear I was surfing a lot. He goes, what do you need tomorrow? I'm like, me and Chuck will go surf in the morning. What time? Man, we in the water like by 6. If there's waves. He goes, okay, call me. Be at my house at 5. Bro, 3 o'clock we were there. 3 o'clock or 3:30 we were already in that city in front of his house. Like, luckily we didn't get arrested and sent back to Brazil. Hey, there's 2 Brazilians here. Like all the way in Malibu. Like where Arnold lives. It's like all the way to the top of the mountain. It's like amazing, and it's like we just like I didn't want to be late there. It's like what if he leaves? Like we're never gonna have this chance. Like shit, I want to surf with him. Dude, we surf all day, and after 4 hours of surfing, 5 hours, 4 hours of surfing, we go eat, and he goes, "Let's go back." And I look at Thiago, and I'm like, dude, I can't even move my arms anymore. Wow. Hickson is a rat. Dude, he loves surfing. And I always give him a hard time, though. I tell him a RoboCop surfing, He always say that, okay, let's do a contest. I'm like, okay. He goes, surf. And then I look at him, and he goes, jiu-jitsu. I'm like, you're funny. And then he would say something else, right? And all 3 things, he would be, like, really good at it.
Right.
And then I'm like, no, let's do soccer, motocross or bike, whatever, right? And ping pong, because I beat his ass on ping pong really bad. I beat him bad. Hickson Gracie, I beat you up 7-1, 6-0. I have a ping pong table at my gym waiting for you. So I beat him really bad, but dude, he's so competitive. Chrome was laughing, they're all laughing, and then I'm beating him up, but it was fun. And he goes, okay. All right, time is over. Let's put the ping pong table. Now let's roll in the garage. And I'm looking like, no, I don't want to look in the garage. And I know I'm going to pay for that. I talk so much crap. And maybe once in a lifetime, I beat him up, Thank God. So we had that, that good relationship. It's just so many things, that it's like we got back from the beach. And then we went to his house, and then it's like, okay, let's wash the surfboards. Then we go wash the surfboards, and then I'm in Malibu sitting, I was like purple belt, right? Yeah. Blue to purple, something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the land. Like, it's like I'm in the Bruce Lee's house, right? And he's there, he's doing stuff for us to eat, comes with a shake, and I'm thinking, holy crap, I'm at Hickson's house. And me and Chad were just like 2 little guys. He leaves and we just like, so it was so cool. And then, I hang on the pool and I'm like, my God, I'm at Hickson Gracie's house. So now he, out of the blue, he calls me. How you doing? What are you doing? And we talk for an hour, right? Like we talked the other day, he called me before he goes to Japan. He had the thing in Japan now. So now he calls me. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you not calling me? So it's really nice. Yeah. You like, if you would be able to, you love, Jeet Kune Do, and then Bruce Lee's calling you.
Right, exactly.
Like out of the blue. Hey, what are you up? What are you doing?
Right.
How's everything? And it's like he gives me. We are opening more schools, right? That's something that I want to. So our idea is, yes, I wanted a franchise like we did it towards Tennessee. We didn't franchise, but we opened a gym just like the one we have. Blue mats, white pants on the wall. We got this logo, our gi. You know, we have our own LCCT gi. We have the rash guards. We have the shirts. Gym looks good. It has the program. So that's the idea eventually, franchise. But the biggest and most important thing is I don't want to lose the quality. Like some of a bigger associations that we know, they used to be one thing and now there's not as used to be. Like we know a lot of those gyms, they're not as good as they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they lost the quality because they have too many. I don't need too many. But I have a lot of people that comes to me and goes like, well, I have some extra money. I want to open a gym. Okay, let's do this. This is what we provide. My wife knows the business part, what it works with the marketing, bookkeeping, accounting, all that stuff. It's how you're going to do your marketing, how you do your things. Because all those things, like most of the time, and this happens a lot. You have some guys that are amazing in their jiu-jitsu, but they suck on the marketing.
Sure.
So their gym failed. Their gym break down. And I'll tell you this right now. I tried to do 3 months because I didn't want to do 1 year. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to be cool. I want people to appreciate me. And I did, you know what? We're just going to do 3 months and we're going to do cash. The gym almost closed twice. Since she started running the gym doubled the number of students, almost triple now. Why? Because I have a full-time knowing where to do the marketing, how to do the marketing, how to turn down people. And then it's like all the ideas, it don't work just because you're good in jiu-jitsu. Like you need somebody behind you to make sure the gym is successful. A lot of the times, you guys know this, you have people that are amazing good and the gym has like 20 students top. And then on the other side, there's a guy that don't know any jiu-jitsu, is totally crap, doesn't even roll with the students, treat the students like shit. And the guys have 200, 300 students. Right. My God, I heard that story many times. So, Pedro Sowers, is a good friend too. I was actually, when Hickson got his red belt, I was there. I had a guy actually in the UFC fighting James Bucknovic, which is from Ben Rothwell, but he does the ground with us too. And so we all there for the belt test. It was amazing, right? I didn't even have I wasn't there without the gi. We were there for the UFC, and then I'm like, oh my God, he's doing this thing here. So we went there. It was amazing.
So one of you guys red belt?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I mean, what do you think about his speech and his whole timing and everything like that? He said.
I think I didn't hear everything. Like I said, I don't have time to follow anything. Mm-hmm. I was just there, right? And actually, when I got there was after they were already doing the seminar. I see. Because Buck, I think, was doing something else. And they were like, by the time we got back, it was actually almost towards the end of the seminar. So I know there was a couple things, and I even heard, I don't know if he's right, that he's not even using the red belt.
I haven't seen him wear it, right?
Yeah, so I don't know.
So from what I heard, he had given a speech, I believe, at one of the camps at Pedro's. Mm-hmm. Hickson's so rigidly disciplined about this, and like he had basically said, like, I'm not ready for this because I can't remember how many more. It was like 3 more years or 5 more years or whatever.
It was something like that. Yeah, he said the time wasn't right.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So at it may have been the Hickson the tournament thing that he did actually in New York, but so like he showed up in his old belt.
Right.
Oh, really? Okay. So that's something that I kind of heard too.
Right.
But like I said, I don't follow. I don't have time. Like she's the one. Most of the time, she's the one that does everything on my Facebook. She has my Facebook, so she even like, oh, Louis, people send stuff to me. She's the one that's responding the whole time because I'm really working the full time. Sure. I don't have time for it. So she's the one that does everything. But for example, back in the days, if I'm not wrong, I think once you got the black belt, it was like every 3 years, right? Right. And then they changed for 3, 3, 3, and then 5 and 5 and 5, which is whatever the IBJJ Confederation they would do, And I don't know what the reason was for or why they did it, like I said, I'm not a kind of a belt guy. You know, I like to have the program so you can actually earn your belt. But other than that, it's like, you know, the timing. Like I pretty much never follow what they say anyway. You know, I think it's like there's a difference between a guy, for example, Javi is a competitor. You know, I'm going to hold Javi as much as I can on the blue belt, on the purple belt, whatever, instead of a guy that he hits the time, but, you know, he's a doctor. He's never going to be a competitor, but he knows the program for a brown belt, for a black belt. But like a competitor-wise, it's really hard. You have to kind of have that balance, you know, to keep that guy too long on his belt or just because this guy is a doctor, give him the belt right away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now when he goes against a blue belt, the blue belt chokes the black belt, and he's like, man, I'm not a black belt. So you got to kind of be very flexible with that.
There's a feel to it.
Yeah.
Just like anything else we do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I see it a lot. I mean, just because you have guys that are just, you know, families, they train jiu-jitsu because they just like jiu-jitsu. And then you have like the guy who's there, the gym rat who's there every class, and he's just hardcore. This is his life.
Yes.
So you got to treat those guys a little bit differently.
Yes.
Their goals are, where their journey's going is totally different.
And that's something that is important with Hickson Federation and all that stuff. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's like the self-defense part, you know, especially for women. Dude, we have so much people that are being attacked. I have girls in my gym that they're being attacked before. And that's something that is, it's extremely bad. We had kids that being attacked before, you know, and the sick people out there. And I always tell the parents, like, you know, even if your kid sometimes they say, like, I don't want to go. They say, look, if you give a kid all the options you want, he'll be home playing video games and eating candy.
That's right.
And by the time you realize he's 350 pounds, you know, and those things are important. We, you know, like my dad never gave us a chance to go do whatever we want. It's always, yes, you're doing this, you're doing school, you go to this, to this, to this, to this. It was not like, oh, I want to go. No. Everything was laid down and we have to follow. I never smoke, nothing against you guys. Never drink, you know. And like I said, I'm 45. I'm pretty good shape. Like I want to live my life healthy, you know. So some of the things that I think it's important too. But I know we were talking about a little bit about the gyms and the franchise, and we had our gym in Schaumburg, right? And we went for like 4,000, a little bit bigger, to a 10,000 square facility. The gym now, you know, is way bigger. We have everything now, you know, from wrestling to kickboxing to capoeira to everything. And then we opened another gym in Barrington. Now Thiago is, you know, leading that gym there. He's the guy that's in Barrington. Our idea is to be open more gyms in a bunch of places. We made a couple brown belts. We have black belts. I'm bringing other black belts in, hopefully, as fast as I can. And our idea is to open, you know, a couple more gyms. We have
in Illinois?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have already, one of our guys is already Professor Posada, Gregorio Posada. He's one of our kickbox instructors. He's also a jiu-jitsu instructor. He's in Elgin. And there are a few places that we are looking at this moment. So hopefully we have a couple other places in the suburbs.
Nice.
I had a guy that called me yesterday about something downtown, and that's one of the things Hickson called me. He's like, don't think yourself. Don't think. So I'm like, no, coach, I got you. I got you, master. I got you. But
does he call him professor? Do you call him, what do you just call him, Hickson?
I just call him Hickson.
Yeah, he's not too like, don't call me. Is he proper? Like, do you have to call like?
No.
He's just like Hickson.
No,
it's cool. Just call him.
I'm okay to talk shit to him, and he's not beating me up. Like I can, you know, I which is cool. Like I'm really grateful in you know, about the relationship me and Thiago, we developed with him, and how nice he calls. He asks about Rafa. He asks about the kids. Like I said, out of the blue, you know. And I know he doesn't call many people. You know, he's very kind of close. So having that kind of phone calls is, you know, it makes me the happiest guy. I don't tell her, but she goes like, every time you talk to Hickson, he's so nervous.
He dropped weights. I'm like, Did you drop weight? Oh, Rickson is coming? I got it.
So, you know, I got to look good, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like, it's almost like I have another father to, you know, hey, you're going to open more business. You understand what you're putting yourself in. You got to understand that it's worth it. You know, how you're going to do it. Not just, he's not telling me the business aspect, you know, like, I want you to be successful, but I want to make sure you don't miss the time with your kids and your wife, you know, because sometimes we got in the, you know, in American, you know, this is what you got to do. And then you got hungry about it, and then you got greedy about it, and then you lose, you know, the most important things in life. And it's really nice to see that he cares about us like that. You know, it's, and that's what I try to be with my students. Like I know so much about my students. You know, like they come, they talk to me, the problems, you know. Hafa, she always doing like the diet. You know, we have students that lost 85 pounds, 100 pounds.
That's awesome.
You know, like we had people that used to take like 5 different medicine, you know, for depression, for this, for that, for, you know, they can't sleep, and now they're not on anything, you know. So, like I said, I think it's, and I want my other gyms to be like that. And the guys, you know, Javi, for example, Javi's already teaching in Barrington, you know, and I you know, I have a couple guys that are already, you know, teaching my gym, you know, so I have like, I don't know, 8 brown belts now, you know. Dennis Downbro is already teaching, you know, another location too. So the idea is, one, get bigger, right? Like, why? Because I have a lot of people coming to me. It's like, why don't you open a gym here? You know, I have a guy that, I'm not gonna say the place yet. We're working on it right now. He's like, Coach, I got like 15 people right now that, you know, they know you guys, they love the job, but you're too far, you know, and because they work so much, they don't have. But I'll put that together. If I got that, I'll make, you know, work it. So this is our main goal now.
Now, will you go from, like, will you be visiting all your gyms, or you're still training at the main one, Schaumburg,
yes,
right?
I'm in the
That's
main,
where you teach.
Yes, that's what I teach.
But these affiliates, you'll just go out there for certain seminars, stuff like that?
Yes, I do the seminars, and a lot of the times we have open mats for the guys in the association. Okay, I don't kind of open to the public. I don't want to be a jerk, but I had it open for the public, and I think that's a good thing, actually. You know, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Sure.
People cross training and, you know, train with different people. I think that's different because it kind of take them out of their comfort zone. But I had something that happened last year. It was last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yeah. One of my purple belt, in the day that we're doing just sweeps, like open guard pass. And then you sweep. On the bottom, you have to sweep. You sweep the guy takes your place, the guy is out, pretty much. And I had a guy that blew up, one of my probably 127-pound guy that probably is the nicest row in the whole gym, right? The nicest guy. I think he's like a CEO, whatever he is, in this company. Guy trains for 7 years, never hurt himself. The nicest row you want to do it's with him. So this other kid coming in, and we still try to figure out what he did. I don't know if he couldn't, he couldn't sweep or pass. I don't know what it was. He got him on the leg lock and broke, like, extremely bad. Yeah. So the guy's over a year without training.
Wow.
And the worst is he did the surgery first time, and so all the ligaments, everything. Now, how can you blow somebody's knee training a no submission class, right? Yeah. Against a guy that's 130 pound.
Right.
You know, and the guy's way bigger, way stronger. He had some MMA background. There's no excuse for that. You know what I'm saying? There's no Javi's the expert in leg locks. He's so good. I never seen him hurt any student that is lower than him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're a higher belt. You understand what to do. Mm-hmm. So this guy was over a year out, and then the worst, after the surgery, his leg was all black. I thought he was gonna lose his leg. I was so afraid. I'm calling the guy every day. Do you want me to go to the market? Do you need help? Oh, no, I got it, coach. Don't worry. You know, he's also my good friend. Mm-hmm. He actually just texted me. He's in a camp in Rio right now. So the guy had to do another surgery again because when they did the first one, they missed something and one of the ligaments were not good. So 2 surgeries, bro. 2 surgeries for an open mat that I wasn't even charging anybody.
Right.
So after that, you know, I told Hafiz, is like, look, no more open. You know, even if you come from one of our affiliations, I always like, hey, if you hurt somebody, I'm hurting you the same way. Mm-hmm. That's train hard, play hard, but don't be stupid. Right. Like if you do it, you out. Mm-hmm. And this guy is no longer with us. And unfortunately, because the guy, if I would be able to train him and he would have a good mind, I think we could make him 10 times better. But sometimes when you're young, you know, you think everything you do is right, mm-hmm. you know, or maybe he didn't do it on purpose, but the problem is that it did happen, right? You know, and I feel sorry for the guy that got hurt. But you know,
I mean, there's accidents,
yes,
and then there's like,
yes,
come on,
yes. So those things we gotta avoid.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense.
You know?
So is it like invite only?
You looking for your invite?
I'm looking for a little invitation.
Hey, as long as you don't hurt me, you invite me.
I don't think that's possible.
Javi will bring you on. For sure.
I mean, I really enjoy, like, you know, meeting, going to other gyms and training, and I love to train. You know,
I hear you. Well, it's nice when you go train and you be able to have fun. I had one guy that from the other gym was talking to Javi today about it in class, and all the brown belts are there and the black belt, and it's nothing against this guy or that guy. You know, guys from other place, and he wants to train, but it's like, dude, it can't work. It's not gonna work the way I think. I'm too straight. You know, I follow everything Hickson does, and it hasn't put me in any bad spot. Right. You know, and it's like everything that happens, I try to follow as much as I can, and you know, thank God we're doing well. You know, and it's really hard to kind of like please everybody. Yeah. You know, and make sure you do a good job, but at the end of the day, you know, he's being a good instructor to follow. You know?
He knows a thing or two.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, right?
Well, I know she's probably starving by now. I know you promised to go to dinner, right? Yeah, your mic is on. You know that, right?
The mic is on, right?
No, we can wrap this up. All right. So where can people find you?
Okay, I'm in Schaumburg right now, 1154 Schaumburg. Also, you can contact us at LCCT BJJ USA.com.
Yep.
Okay, you want to say anything?
Facebook, Instagram, where you guys at on there?
It's all LCCT Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then any social media, same name. Mm-hmm. We have Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Google. And then our phone number 773-554-8384. And I'm always ready to pick up the phone for anyone that calls.
Awesome. I really appreciate you guys coming out.
Oh man, I really like it. Thank you. You know, all the guys are listening. Thank you guys for inviting me. Sorry that it took a little bit longer. You know,
no problem at all.
And then Paul, of course, couldn't make it tonight. He had to work.
Yeah, unfortunately,
he's been dying to come in here today.
He missed his opportunity. Paul, wherever you are.
I even brought my gi because you might have to do something with the gi. I'm like, okay,
I got my gi. Don't worry about it. We'll do something.
So
the go-go choke doesn't require a gi.
That's true.
So yeah, guys, thank you really thank you so much. I hope the guys are listening. They had a good time. You know, hopefully we'll come out with the website soon.
Do you have a name for that website? Is there a domain name yet? Or
yes, Jiu-Jitsu Elite. It's gonna come out. Okay. As soon as it comes out, we're gonna tell people. We're gonna, you know, the market is gonna be good.
Awesome.
And like I said, hopefully we can not only share but provide the people that are with us and the people that maybe one day will be with the best. I would say I'm not Hickson Gracie. He's too far away from us. But if I can share, you know, a little bit of the knowledge that I got from all that he knows, I always tell people I'm a little piece of sand on his beach.
Right.
You know, that's how I feel, and I'm not being that humble. He said one day, Mike Carey, one of our, you know, a guy. He's one of the movie guys, but he's been a martial artist for his whole life. A couple of things that I didn't know. He told her. He never told me. But I believe being humble is the key to get better, you know, and to know that you can always learn from anybody, you know, and as long as it works, right? Every time somebody would come down from Brazil and show something to Hickson, he'd be like, okay, let me see. And then he would do it and work with everybody else, and then with him, nothing would work. And he goes like, well, position is good, but it really don't work, you know? So I kind of like, sometimes I try to make my students understand, like, look, I am not a jerk, but this is how Hickson used to tell me, okay? And I'm just telling you the same. It looks good, okay? But for a guy that has the understanding, it's not going to work. Right. So why waste time on this, you know? So, like I said, jiu-jitsu, man, jiu-jitsu is such I feel like the jiu-jitsu is just a universe, you know, of positions and things that we can have in the exchange, in the energy. You know, that's another thing that we play a lot is you push, I pull, you pull, I push. Right. You know, and there's so much on those things that I think is, don't try to see the things that, it's like almost like this. What you see is totally different than what you feel. If you see something, you're already too late, right? Your reaction should be based on the things that you feel, not on the things that you see. By the time you see, you're already late. Now, if you feel the exchange on the shoulders, the exchange on the hip, how the elbow moves, there's points that are extremely more important than the things that you just fight. Remember that jiu-jitsu, I always tell this, the translation of jiu-jitsu is gentle art until we tap each other's hands, right? So we always have that saying like, hey guys, let's roll light. Right. Every time somebody tells me, let's roll light, I injure myself. Because I do light and they do crazy light, right? And I always hurt myself. So, and it's always the nicest guy in the gym that hurts you anyway. So anyway, thank you once again. I hope I see you guys soon. And I hope everybody liked it. The stories about Hickson and, you know, the jiu-jitsu life, and keep grinding, keep working hard. And remember, reps, reps, reps. God bless you guys.
All right, guys. We'll see you. Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. For more information about Grappler Union Podcast, you could visit us at our website at grapplerunion.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Grappler Union. Please like us on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. And all of our episodes are available on our YouTube channel. Say what?
Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to all that shit. You got to do another take, right? Oh. This episode of the Grappler Union Podcast is brought to you by BJJ Tees. Go to bjjtees.com, enter the promo code Grappler Union, and save 10% off all your jiu-jitsu apparel. Go to bjjtees.com today.
This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Strychnine Jiu-Jitsu, makers of vintage-inspired tees, hoodies, and rash guards. Go to strychnine.co, that's STRYCH9.co, and use the promo code UNION at checkout to receive 20% off your online order.